p.m. tomorrow anyway. So
Oh,
it actually
perfect.
worked out kind of nice.
That is nice. Last year, I think you were pretty much at work last time, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So look, we already got people saying, get this
12
show
viewers
on the
popping
road.
in here. Guys, if you have not liked this video and you're popping in, make sure you hit that like button. It's huge for us. Alex, let the people know who you are. This is your second year coming on in these late hours. You need no introduction, but give it to them anyways.
I'll give you a relatively quick one while you guys take a breather. Well, first off, I'm going to offer my first cheers of the night. I'm drinking Johnny's favorite beer. Very ceremonial. So my name is Alex Schroff. I am a 21 sports talker student, a lot of other things from Wisconsin. Go Pack.
Yeah, go Pack, go, baby.
Go Pack. Green Bay. I've been working in sports media for about 7 years. My first gig, actually, which I don't know if I said this last year, but my first gig ever in media was the lead fantasy football writer for SBNation.com.
Oh, I did not know that. Well, that's excellent.
So I kind of dropped out of the fantasy game, and I'll tell some stories about that later. But so that was how I got started.
So what you're saying is, Travis, he's our future, one of the future co-hosts for our show, dude.
Look, I'm telling you,
I don't know if I could ever fill that role as successfully as you guys, but I appreciate the high praise.
Yeah,
so it's good.
Look, we just need that voice on the show.
Dude, it's
like
this
is why you're here, man.
Like, you know, you've seen the Little Mermaid, right? You know, where she wants Corella or who is it? Who's
Ursula?
Ursula wants your voice. Like, we want your voice, dude.
Well, if you know the process of vocal box, you know, what's that word?
Massaging?
Yeah.
No, but yes.
Diction?
If you're into that.
If you're
how do I get my vocal box to you? I'm looking for a medical.
Oh, yeah. Tracheotomy?
Hey, I don't.
Who knows? I don't know, dude.
I don't know, but with Alex,
just listen to Joe Rogan sometimes.
With Alex's
transplant.
Yeah, transplant. What I will say is, like, you know, with Alex's high amount of disposable income, and you know, it's not inconceivable that we can make this happen. You know.
Yeah, well, you know, college senior, just super rich. You're totally right. So we are rolling.
Yeah.
I don't see the live on YouTube though, so my TV game's thrown off, and it's almost my pick here.
You don't see the live on YouTube?
I might have clicked the wrong one. Hold
on. Yeah, it's going.
Oh, I did. There I am. I found my interesting face. All right, cool. We're good.
So
it's my pick.
I want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll make a few announcements before we get going. Go ahead and take your time. Take this pick if you want, Alex, and we'll get back to it. But I want to talk about a few things we got going on. So first of all, Alex, you're with us for 4 hours. We're so grateful, man. You do this every year with us. This is the second year. And last year you brought us through the night, and you're bringing us through again. We appreciate it. At the turn of the day, from 8 to 8-9, you're doing it again with us. So big ups there. You've got a little bit more power this year. Go ahead and make your pick if you.
I'm gonna.
20 seconds.
I'm still thinking.
Okay.
I'm undecided.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking at it.
I do want to say because Jake has asked this a couple times now, so I do want to answer this question. Jake 1079, appreciate you hopping on here. Hey, please subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. What do you guys think about Kamara and Dynasty? So, Travis, we are giving away a signed autographed Kamara jersey. So, Jake, make sure you hang around for that so you can get entered in the drawing to win that. We'd love to give you away that because you've been asking about Kamara. I'm assuming you have Kamara on your Dynasty team. So, Travis, what do you think about Alvin Kamara's Dynasty value? We know he's going to a contract year. We know he's a super efficient player. He's a top 4, obviously top 4 running back. So, what do you think his value is? If you're looking to trade him, what do you think you get back?
I mean, I don't really know.
And then I'm going to ask the Magic 8 ball or 9 ball.
I don't really know what you'd want to get back. You'd probably want a first, second rounder at least. For me, I don't know why you'd be trying to get out of Alvin Kamara. The guy is super young still. He's super talented, very efficient, has never really gotten all the lead back role yet in like the full bell cow role in New Orleans yet. And look, I can't see New Orleans letting him walk. Like, Sean Payton discovered this guy, took a chance in him, loves him. I think they keep him. I would be hanging on to Kamara. I think he's still the right age to be not selling too soon.
I'm just gonna say this here, like, don't Whisper Nation, please don't jump on me because I'm halfway joking because it's midnight here. or 2 a.m. in Wisconsin, as Astros likes to put it. Hey, Ballers has been pretty accurate in a lot of their stuff, and they had Alvin Kamara getting, taken and swept away to the LA Rams, your team, in free agency. And listen, they said on the show that Patrick Mahomes was going to get the biggest deal that we've ever seen in our lives, and he did. So what am I've got to believe that the LA Rams are somehow going to be involved with the Kamara sweepstakes because of that show. But no, in reality, Alvin Kamara, I think you've got to hang on to him. You're looking at a top 4 running back. Running backs, especially in Dynasty, are extremely hard to come by. And what are you going to get back for Alvin Kamara? Like, there's not room. We always say it. You want to try to get the best player involved in the trade, and you're giving away Alvin Kamara. So unless you're getting back, Ezekiel Elliott.
What ends up happening in these trades is you're trading away, and you even see it in the NFL. Like, you're trading away a player. Look at the Jamal Adams deal. You're trading away a player in the hopes that the pick you get is going to be that player. So I think that's the situation you'd be in if you're trading away Kamara for a dynasty pick, thinking that you're going to land a guy that could be Kamara. We've seen what Kamara's at. He's still being drafted in the top 5, top 6. We know what his ceiling is, and you're just taking a chance here. Absorbing risk, I don't think you need to absorb.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in. So I don't think, obviously, you don't want to get rid of him. You don't want to run away from Kamara. But you brought it up, Travi, the contract year, right? Let's look at the names of running backs that have already been drafted that are also going into contract years. You've got Alvin Kamara, you've got Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, all on contract years of the top backs that have already been picked. And now it's my pick, so let me grab Eckler here. So look, I mean, it depends where he goes, right? And you mentioned how he hasn't played that full, what'd you call him, a cowbell back?
Yeah, bell cow, yeah.
Bell cow, did I say it backwards?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're not, it's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So no, it depends what you think is going to happen there moving forward. But there's no reason to run away.
And I think, Jake brought it up here. Thanks for answering. He says, Kamara's up right now in my Dynasty slow draft. I want to jump on it, but Breeze retiring worried me as well. I just like him so much. Look, I think no matter what happens at quarterback, Kamara's kind of safe because he's going to catch the passes for them. He's a nice safety valve for whatever kind of quarterback walks into that joint.
Well, and here's the thing. They have Jameis Winston there who, it's a 1-year deal, but he has no other job. So, like, that's a very easy long-term deal if New Orleans want to work something out there with Jameis. But then you also have, Hill back there, Taysom Hill, who – Peyton has been raving that this guy is the next, Joe Montana, which is kind of crazy if you think the next Joe Montana is on your bench for like 3 years. It's like that would kind of make Drew Brees and like Drew Bledsoe, I guess.
He's like a gadget player,
right?
Yeah.
So, but even with Taysom Hill, and I think that it would be fine for Kamara. Like, so I think Kamara's floor is actually really, really high, and like Travis said, he's still super young. And so I wouldn't be trying to move. I would jump on that value. I do like that a lot.
All right, so we're talking here about Kamara a lot. I just want to show some of the goods here.
Oh yeah, show them the goods.
We've got this signed Alvin Kamara jersey. We will be giving this bad boy away to close out the marathon tomorrow. If you guys want in, you've just got to subscribe to the YouTube channel and smash TFW in the chat right now. It enters you in. And we will go ahead and do that drawing tomorrow while Sigmund Bloom is on during the final hour of the 24-hour mock draft marathon. Alex, we've got a big 4 hours here with you, and part of that is we're giving away a jersey next hour, the Kenny Golladay jersey.
Oh, Kenny Golladay.
Yeah.
You just had to talk about the second best wide receiver in the NFC North.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to bring him up a little bit.
So did you guys see that clip that Pro Football Focus had about a month ago where they were talking about the best wide receiver in the North, and it took them, a minute 45 into the discussion to just throw away Devontae Adams?
Oh, no. I did not see this.
So they were talking about, Stephon Diggs' departure. So who's the best receiver? So Thielen gets brought up. Galladay gets brought up. Some dude picked Marvin Jones as the best receiver in the North.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like
yeah.
Big Travie and our boy Summy from the Draft Room Pod. That sounds like something they'd say.
What?
Yeah, it was atrocious.
But I do love Kenny G. I do love Kenny G.
Like Kenny
G.
I
do love Kenny G.
I think he's great, but
yeah,
he
not
can be in that conversation.
100%.
But
it's still a conversation. Yeah,
it is.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I think it's Devontae far and away, right? I mean,
he's been underrated his whole entire career. I mean, it is very much a thing. Like 2 years ago, like I know it seems like a long time ago, but not that long ago. 2 years ago, Davante Adams was a fourth rounder.
Oh yeah.
And so people, and then going into last year, people were on the fence on whether and it was unfortunate because like even though this guy was injured and I was a huge believer in Davante Adams. Started off my dynasty team with Davante Adams. We were talking about it on a little bit earlier, possibly trade with Austin. But Davante Adams is just a beast, and he just never gets the respect because he's quiet. We talk about this. These quiet receivers.
It took him a while because he struggled at the beginning of his career. He had some
drops, and then Aaron Rodgers called him out.
Yeah, and then he just kind of rose to the challenge and put work in his footwork and his route running, and he just really went to town on it. So that's, I think, also a part of his story that I love so much is it's been a redemption story. He's had to work his butt off to kind of be that guy, and that seems to be the way. I mean, that seems to be the way in the Packers organization. You got to work,
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the story of a perfect, rise up to the challenge story because look at the receiver room when he got here. You still had Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, James Jones, I think was still here when he started. So it was those big dogs that were here when he got here.
Yep.
But I mean, he was a dog in college too. Derek Carr was throwing to him at Fresno State. So that was a fun duo in college.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyway,
the Cat's Pajamas is back in the chat. Cat's Pajamas, DM us.
Get this chat up here.
You got to DM us over on IG or Twitter. You won a draft kit last hour. I don't know if you were in the chat last hour. I was. So we want to let that know. So the last thing, or not the last thing, but one of the major things you've got going for you here, Strofe, in this 4 hours, we're going to give you a little bit of power. We've got one of these Whisper Nation Listener League spots left, and you're going to be the ultimate judge, jury, executioner.
Okay.
We've got last year we got this chat going, and we're rocking right now. We got 24 viewers, so love you guys.
I see that.
Love you, Whisper Nation, rocking with us here at midnight to almost 2:30 in Wisconsin. So, Alex, just be on the lookout in this chat inside the drafts that we're going to be doing for kind of your favorite guy, your favorite personality through this whole bit. Maybe you're John with you on the chat. They take a guy from you like whatever. You're going to have this scepter of power at the end to be able to award a listener league spot.
You guys have given me such an ego boost in the last 21 minutes. I just want you to know that it's thoroughly appreciated.
It's it's like an energy thing. If we can put it all to you, then you can bring us through because it's still just hour one of these late night hours.
Yeah, we'll get through it.
Yeah,
I have no concern. I might drink a few beers and a few espressos, get a little shaky. It's my pick. Nice. Glad I'm paying attention. Okay, I've got to go the Wisconsin route here just early. I'm going to go John. Well, I don't know though. So I went wide receiver first round, which has just screwed me up. And I heard I'm blanking on the name now. Ryan.
Ryan.
His name, right?
Yeah.
My nice. That's
yeah.
Well, your decision's been made for you. That's the only time it's happened in this entire mock draft marathon, Alex.
I am such a failure.
No,
that dude. You just ruined the active
I've done it
streak
4 times at least. Like I've drafted Geis.
Hey,
at
least it auto draft the right pick there in David Johnson.
See, I was going to go Jonathan Taylor.
Well, you shouldn't have.
It's okay. I mean, it's fine. But I put myself in a predicament. So anyway, Ryan was saying how he's doing two mocks a day.
Yeah.
It's the same case last year. This is my mock prep.
Oh, well, this is a good one to do.
Yeah.
So this is my first mock draft of the entire season, and I missed my 4th pick.
Dude,
I'm not doing well.
It's like you're stepping in a Tesla right now because you're going to go like 0 to 80 in like 2.6 seconds.
Yeah.
Because oh, sorry. Sorry to cut you off, Stroke, but
okay.
yeah, we have just gotten lucky because of what we went through last year, what we learned last year, and so this year we have really stepped up our game. Our team is running more efficiently. It is a well-oiled
To be fair, to run more
rusty.
efficient than last year was not that hard at this hour. We were not very efficient. So I will just say that. But yes, we are running a little bit more well-oiled this year, if you will. So
good.
Yeah, it's a good thing going on here.
I'll try to speed up, man. The 60-second pick thing. I mean, I appreciate it because we want to get through it, of course. But yeah, it caught me off guard. Anyway, David Johnson, love that fit because running backs in Houston always go there to thrive. I mean, that's always the case, right? We can name 100 examples. But what do we think about that? Has that been brought up tonight? Have you guys?
Oh yeah.
So David Johnson's not going to be good, and I'm drafting Calvin Ridley because I have a crush on him.
I love Calvin
Johnson's
Ridley.
not going to be good.
Oh,
right?
I cannot wait. I am going to clip out. I have all of you guys all on tape. I cannot wait. I am going to clip out every single one of your guys.
That's fine, Johnny. That's fine.
David Johnson.
But you better come correct if it's the other way.
Hold on.
And clip all the times you ranted about David Johnson in the affirmative in this mock draft. So that's fine.
And I want to say this right now because there are.
Hide your cardinal bias a little bit.
Hold on. No.
Cardinal bias.
Hey, no, I don't do that. Hey, and I will say, Travis, as my witness, do I not keep it 100 and be real like that? Would you not expect me to do that? I
have to be honest with you. You do not always keep it 100.
Oh, unreal!
I just have to be honest.
I have always said I brought up Dante Pettis.
That's my job here. I have to be the grounded. The Tai Chi.
Hold on, Whisper Nation
here.
in the chat room. Can you please? What did I bring up with not who? Okay, if you want to get real, you want to get real.
You sound like Lil Jon over here. What? Okay.
Hey, yeah. You want to get real? I was so excited for Liz to come on, and Liz.
She was great.
She was amazing.
Liz is a legend.
Hey, and Travis can tell you how excited I was that we got Liz, and I told her what. Not my greatest pick I ever said. I didn't say last year I was predicting Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. No, I gave her my worst pick. I said Dante Pettis is who I picked. I am honest. I'm 100% with Whisper Nation. I will go down on my sword on players if I believe in them that much. And apparently it has been decided based on the mock draft marathon. It is David Johnson. So I'm okay with that.
I love it.
So let me pose a question, and Travi, maybe you'll have a better answer. Who are you more excited about in their new spot? Are you more excited about Melvin Gordon in Denver or David Johnson in Houston?
This is a good question. A lot of people have been kind of convincing me on Melvin Gordon in the mock drafts today, but I had initially coming into today, I would have told you that I was more excited about David Johnson.
Really?
Yeah, I just think that the path to success is more clear. Philip Lindsay's there. He exists, and he's really good.
Right.
And I think obviously they paid Melvin Gordon, so they think that they want to do Melvin Gordon in that role that they were trying to get Royce Freeman to do. Right. But I don't know, man. That's a great question. That's a great toss up there. I would probably still lean David Johnson. Johnny makes a lot of good points. I give him a lot of crap for his rants on this, but Johnny he's made a lot of great points on David Johnson. He's got a good case for him. And so for me, I just find myself with David Johnson more on my roster than I ever do with Melvin Gordon.
So I'll refer to the chat.
And the quarterback play, too, I think factors in, right? Mm-hmm. I trust that offense to be more efficient and more high scoring.
Under Deshaun Watson
and
Drew Lock,
yeah.
And that's totally fair. But I think I disagree.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like I said, just Houston and Bill O'Brien, and they just I don't think they make the playoffs this year, truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, there's a situation where the third team looking out looking in.
I mean, that defense is bad. That defense is not going to be good.
But another reason why I like that offense.
Yeah,
if the defense is bad in fantasy, I'm smashing some Houston players. That's
why there is such a big reality that Deshaun Watson is actually the QB1 overall
half PPR
this year, because they are going to be in shootouts. they are going to be behind a lot. And so I think there is a very realistic possibility if Will Fuller stays healthy, with them getting field stretchers that perfectly fit with what Deshaun Watson is good at. I think that it's a perfect storm brewing, and I think it's a storm that not many people are seeing.
You call this a storm?
Okay, but I'm telling you, the storm is coming, whether you're prepared or not. And I'm just trying to prepare you guys to board up your house, because it's coming,
like
and you're going to wish you hunker down. And
Lieutenant Dan, he was mad.
Yeah.
That's you. You're going to be mad, dude.
No,
jumping off the side of that boat.
I'm not gonna be mad.
Just swimming away.
No, I'm gonna be Forrest Gump on there, like after the morning after, waving myself, being like, "Yo, that's the truth. That's who I'm gonna be." Hey, I do want to say it is amazing right now. 12:30 a.m. In LA, and it is 3. What time is it? 2:30 a.m. In Wisconsin, where Strofe is currently streaming live, and we have 25 people watching us right now. This is amazing.
I love it.
He missed his pick. I'm not alone.
Who missed his pick? Johnny?
Johnny?
No,
yeah,
dude,
baby.
that was my cue. I wanted Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, sure, dude.
Wow. Why'd you wait it out? Unbelievable.
Because I was buying time.
He's the king of the monologue,
Hey,
Alex.
yes,
I mean,
dude.
you're gonna love this because, you're.
I thought I was also, I thought he was in the same boat as me.
No, dude, I don't do that. I leave that to you.
So, I've got three running backs.
Talk to us.
I like the Cam Akers fit, though. I mean, he's gonna.
Yeah.
And although he's a rookie, we don't know what the production will look like. I like him plugging into LA because they make their running back shine. I mean, you look what they did with Todd Gurley, and then the year he's not super healthy. But
sounds like you're talking yourself right into Akers.
Yeah.
Might as well pull that trigger.
I'm running out of time, so I'm going to. But now I only have two going into round 8.
Looking at what you had left, and I like Ronald Jones, and we talked about him on the show. I still even kind of like him even after the LaShawn McCoy signing. But I like Ronald Jones as a league winner this year. I think he's got the upside on that offense to really take it home for you. If he can get the pass protection and pass catching beefed up this year, he'll be in a good spot. But I love Cam Akers, and you talked about that upside with what Todd Gurley has done. Sean McVay, 2 seasons of RB1 overall in fantasy with Todd Gurley. He wants to run the football and throw to his backs by nature. Yeah. Will he be able to do it with Cam Akers? We'll see, but I think Cam Akers was a very special player in college, was able to work with a very bad offensive line, and he's got a shot to do it here with the Rams.
No, I'm with you, man. I like that fit. No, go ahead, Johnny. I cut you off that time.
Oh, you're okay. I just wanted to say, Whisper Nation, if there are only 15 likes right now on this live stream, if you could, there are 26 people watching live. We appreciate every single one of you. If you could please like this live stream, even if you liked the previous one, it didn't transfer over. So if you could please jam that like. And if you like what you're seeing here, please hit subscribe. And if you want to win an autographed jersey, just
or a
comment,
draft kit,
or a draft kit.
One more draft kit giveaway too.
Comment TFW in the chat room. All right, sorry, Strofe. Kick it back to you.
I was actually just going to thank you for the tech lesson about how our likes don't transfer from video to video. I'm assuming nobody knew that. Yeah. That's amazing.
Well, you think, you do it once, you're like, yeah, I liked. And then we talk about it for 8 hours, so they're probably like, oh, I liked already.
That's not a bad point.
Yeah,
I just had to give him a little shit.
No, I love it. Giving Johnny shit is literally what I do for a living.
That's absolutely fair.
This is factually correct.
Yeah. And I love it.
So I'm gonna have a big wide receiver pile to grab from now, depending on who goes here. I'm just gonna think out loud. See, I love.
Well, no, this is great.
I love. So you guys both picked. So I don't want to say who I'd love because I think I can grab on the other side.
But I do want to say, Alex, what is nice here is you were a little worried because you had already had 3 running backs that you had drafted, and you only had 2 wide receivers. Since this is your first mock draft, wide receivers are extremely deep this year, and there are a lot of really good wide receivers you can get in rounds.
They're seemingly deep more often the last, I don't know, right?
Yes.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, getting even though you have 3 running backs, it's always nice to have solid running back depth. And like I said, you're getting them at a good value here. There wasn't much on the board that I would have said, oh, you should have definitely had them over Cam Akers.
Right.
So I think you did a good job in taking Cam there. And Jarvis, I like Jarvis
dumb it
too.
down for me. I'm not Liz. I'm not Adam Rank. I need it to be dumbed down.
Hey, listen,
bit, so I appreciate it.
We know our audience, man. We know what's going on. We know who we got to talk to here. We know you're sipping Bud Light limes tonight. You popped your espresso cherry. We know what's going on over there, man.
I love it here.
Dude, honestly,
I'm going to stay for a few hours.
Hey.
Well, good, because you're committed and it's in your contract, and I don't want to have to call your agent again.
Yeah.
So I'm really over it.
Yeah. He's kind of a dick when he needs to be.
Yeah.
No joke there. Johnny went with Deontay Johnson here in the 8th.
Okay.
Love that pick.
I need some wide receiver depth here, and it was just like a nice play. And I wasn't confident that he was going to fall to me in the 9th. Of course, like I like the value more in the 9th, but I wanted
full point. It's half point.
I just like how he fits on my team.
I'm gonna just go with it anyways. I'm taking Julian. Taking Jules. Who was it earlier selling me on Julian Edelman? I think it was actually Liz. I think Liz was actually talking about Julian.
Oh yeah, she was.
Julian Edelman. I think that. Look, I think Julian Edelman's underrated, but it's just kind of hard to imagine that Cam may like him the way that Brady liked him. So that's just the only concern I have. But look, McDaniels likes him. Belichick likes him, and that's kind of what matters here. So, I mean, other than the quarterback, of course.
Do you think there's any reality that...
Don't say Jared stared at
No, oh, no. That is the worst thing. I was like, no, that is the worst thing ever.
Okay, good.
No.
Good.
Do you think there's a reality in, like, Cam wants to make Tom Brady jealous, and so he knows how much Julian Edelman means to him, and so you've already kind of seen this like already kind of Twitter war going on between Julian Edelman like posting the video of him catching with Cam, and then Tom tweeting, but I was your first. Do you see anything going on there?
Were you asking me that? I'm sorry. I thought
Both
you were
of
asking
you guys.
Stroh.
I'm trying to make some radio. It's midnight. Give me.
Listen.
Come on.
You go first. No.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I tuned Johnny out there. I just have to be completely honest. I stopped listening.
I feel a little less bad because I lost track of what he was saying.
This is unbelievable, dude. Where's my break? You know what? We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Come on, Bill. Come on, Bill.
Oh man.
So you're thinking that Cam is going to look at Julian Edelman's emotions of losing his best friend and give him sympathy passes?
Yeah, that's sympathy.
No, I'm saying that he is going to want to make Tom Brady jealous.
First of all,
so he's going to target Julian Edelman.
I have
more.
to just derail this because I have something more important to say.
It's a theory.
Tom Brady's Instagram or Tom Brady's social media presence is amazing.
Yeah.
He's like a great troll.
Oh my gosh,
he's a fantastic troll. When he was telling Jules like, "I'll always be your first." Oh my God, that was so great.
So it's funny when you bring it up.
Yeah, no.
But then when I say it, everyone just ignores it.
It's like the delivery, Johnny. Come on, I'm a legend here.
Unbelievable. I just sit here and make crack jokes, and then
it's like that old. It's all that old hip hop like beat. They'd be like, "You are watching a master at work." Like that's what's happening right now. Watching me draft right now.
Alex. Alex is the master at work.
That's true. Matt P in the chat says fabricated likes. Look, yeah, but sometimes you need those fabricated likes.
Yeah.
Oh, Matthew, go get off your high horse, Matthew P. Really? They're asking a simple favor at 2:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Fabricated likes? Come on, you're better than that. Reach deeper in the pockets of insult.
Oh, I love it.
Horrible. Who was my guy last year? What the hell was
Look, and that guy's not even drafting in here.
Well, he did. He wants in on the next one. So just go to Twitter.
What's his name?
Matthew? Matt?
No, not Matthew. The other guy from last year.
What was that guy's name?
Oh man,
Smokey. What was it? Was like I can't remember, man. But we'll find it.
Matthew P. fabricated mics. That is the worst comment. I'm going to tell you one person I'm not choosing for the listeners league. It's Matthew P.
Oh man, Strove coming in hot already. We know we love it. This is great.
It's 2:40 a.m. I might have to give a little
love
bit
this. Johnny K 1189 talking trash to Johnny should be America's favorite pastime. I know.
That's true.
I love it.
I agree with that.
Oh, Credit's also giving us we've been calling it PST in our group chats, and Credit was giving us crap because it's technically PDT, Pacific Daylight Time.
Yeah.
Right now, it reverses.
Standard time is only Eastern, I believe.
No,
right?
well, standard time comes into play in the different months, the other months. After the time changes again, they'll call it PST.
Dude, I'm from Arizona. We don't even
look.
Change,
I was told there wouldn't be any thinking here in these late hours, and here we are. We're breaking down daylight savings time. Can we get into something else here? Strofe, I want to talk to you a little bit here. Just a little bit of a Packers take, if you don't mind, Johnny.
Yeah, hit me. I like those. I'm good at those.
I want to know what you think about our draft. Look, I think the media got crazy with dogging what Brian Gutekunst did here, and I actually like what we did. Brian Gutekunst.
Brian,
I'm doing all right.
Brian, not gonna have a job very long because he just takes.
Anyways, I was asking Stroh for his take here.
Yeah.
What are you thinking with the Packers? Do you think obviously everybody's saying? Do you think? Two questions. Do you like the draft? Two, do you think Rodgers finishes his career with the Packers?
I'll answer that second half first. No, I don't.
Okay.
I think he's got 3 years left. Probably, maybe 4. I think that might be a stretching it a little bit. But I like the draft. I was doing doing kind of like what we're doing right now, a guest spot live stream night 1 of the draft with a site called Packers Worldwide. And
worldwide,
I was thrilled with the right. Yes, I like that. That was good. I was thrilled with the Jordan Love pick. Excuse me. Now, full disclosure, I was very drunk when we were on this live stream because we were just Wisconsinites drinking, nothing normal. But nothing.
Oh, I learned that immediately when landing in Wisconsin. The lady, the Uber. She was taking us to the hotel and she was like, yeah, just FYI, like all we do is really like drink around here, just so you know.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, that's fine with us because that's what we're here for, is to get drunk and go see the Cardinals beat the Packers. Oh, sorry, did I say that?
What happened?
That is what happened.
Oh yeah, it was Mike McCarthy's
got
last
fired.
game.
Yeah, we went to that game together with a couple other people. Austin was there.
Yes, I do remember this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, getting
he
hammered.
Got so hammered, and then he was like out in the front yard, like screaming at the Packers fans as they're walking by.
Oh.
No,
and he wasn't screaming. He was being nice. But
what was I chanting?
Like,
what was I chanting?
I don't remember. You were drunk.
I said I was chanting 4 and 11.
Yeah,
that's what I was chanting. 4 and 11.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
An average year for Arizona.
Yeah.
And I actually think Brett Johnson and I were saying number 1 pick because that locked up us getting the number 1 pick. So, but anyway, I digress. Hey, I love Packers fans. You guys are the greatest. Like I love Packers fans. Like
it was awesome to see Johnny's reaction to Lambeau. That was my 3rd time at Lambeau. And it was awesome to see Johnny's reaction to Lambeau. Obviously, we got this Airbnb Strofe right off of Lambeau Field. It was amazing. You could see the big G in our backyard. It was excellent, man. It was just a lot of fun.
Truly a trip that I will remember. I will tell my grandkids.
He won't remember the game itself.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, and that's a true story. Like I legit. If it weren't for my wife and Brett Johnson telling me that we won, I had no idea we won.
Yeah.
I had no. In fact, the last thing I really remember was Travis being like, I just started cheering, and Travis was like, "Dude, that the Green Bay Packers just scored, not the Cardinals." And I was like,
"Yeah, dude." He woke up like cheering, and he's like came snapped out of it. I'm like, "That's the wrong team, bro."
And I was like, "I don't care, dude. Like, I'm just here to have a good time, dude."
First Lambeau experience. You're passing out in the stands.
Yeah.
That's good. What were we talking about? We got.
So you don't think Rodgers finishes his career there? But you did like the draft.
I like the Love pick. I'm big on the AJ Dillon pick. The rest of them, I mean, are rounds 3 through 7 draft picks, so we'll see what happens. You can't really rate those now. But look, I mean, the big complaint was no wide receiver in the draft. But I mean, that doesn't bug me. You're coming off a 13-3 year. You're getting a third-year wide receiver back from IR in Equanimous St. Brown. Excuse me. I don't know. I think they'll be fine.
What do you think about the rumors and the odds that the Packers are number 1 in signing AB?
I've heard that. I don't think it happens.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to us.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Like,
especially with the 8-week suspension. It just doesn't seem like Green Bay would be the right fit for him. But if they were to sign him, I would think they went through a thorough enough, evaluation of
I would agree with that. I like that.
To be confident in their decision. If the Packers signed Antonio Brown, I mean, I would be fired up. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, of course.
But let's see what I need.
Everything.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, everything.
I want it all.
Oh, we're not doing defenses or kickers.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Oh, I'm very proud of you guys.
We did it for you, Strofe.
Yeah.
Like most
we
of
talked,
what
like
do.
we said, dude. We talked with your agent. They told us what you wanted and what you
had
didn't want.
a big list of demands.
Yeah. But hey, we were like, we'll do it because he's signing up for those 4 hours or the hardest hours.
So do I have the longest block of anybody?
Let's see. You've got 4 hours. Yeah, to consecutive you do. Yeah. And it's for any single host you definitely do. But Club FFL, they've got 4 spots as well, but they were split up. Like so they had different
between 4 people.
Yeah, 5 people actually. But yeah. But yes, you have the most consecutive. And look, I'm still gonna try and sell you on that last spot. So let's make it 5, dude. 5-5. Come alive. Come on, Strofe. I know you can do it, dude.
Are you aware what the time frame is in Wisconsin?
Yeah, you've mentioned it like 4 times, dude. I told you.
Are you aware like the extra hour would be?
Yeah, it would be 5 a.m.
No, it'd be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
Does that sound like fun to you?
No, but does 24 hours of continuous straight mock drafting sound fun? No, but then you get in there and you do it, and hey. It's a lot of fun.
It's like the gym, dude. You like.
I'll make my decision at 5:47.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Right now, I'll make my decision.
Yeah. Look.
A deal.
Hey, if you guys want to see Strofe do the 5th hour, can you drop a TFW in the comments?
They haven't even gotten through an hour with me yet.
Yeah.
You think anybody?
Oh, I do. I think they do. I think people love to see people squirm. And I think that's
I've been squirming since the moment that was my first question.
I love it. I love it. All right, so we're rocking through here. We're in round 11. Man, I've been seeing Noah Fant go later and later in these drafts now. Earlier he was going a lot earlier, but I guess it's 10 teams, so that makes sense.
That makes him tight end what though? Was that 11?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that 10?
Once again with math here, Strofe.
Yeah, Strofe, what are you trying to do? Like, this guy's complaining about, what hours from 6 to 7 a.m. And he's asking us
we've got a few TFWs in the chat. They want to see you.
Dude.
All right.
He said, the man said he'll make up his mind. We'll give him.
I'm just trying to give him a little love here.
Squirmin' Merman. Matthew P. You son of a gun, Matthew
Oh.
P.
Wow.
Merman.
So is he in this? Is Matthew P. somewhere?
No, I believe he's going to be in the next one.
Get him a spot in the next one.
Yeah, I think we did. I need to
rip apart his team.
Oh, I love it.
And we're gonna rip mine apart after this draft. I hope.
I mean, we've been doing it like all show, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, a couple auto drafts, a couple late tight end picks. I mean, it's
this
fine.
is up next hour, guys. If you're in the chat, Kenny G
Galladay.
going next hour. So make sure you're subscribed. You're typing TFW in the chat, and you will be entered to win that jersey.
So now that Austin said TFW, is he entered to win the jersey?
Austin, it's hard to say that Austin's eligible since he does host with us.
That's what I was thinking.
No, his TFW is to get you back for a 5th hour. That's what That's what I'm being told right now in my earpiece.
So is he in the room?
Oh yeah, he'll be on next hour.
Yeah, he's coming on
next
in
hour.
12 minutes to give me my lunch break.
Oh, okay. Oh boy, that might not be any fun at all. Me, Travi. And
yeah,
Austin.
That'll be a good one.
I don't know what I'm gonna.
Sounds pretty boring. Hey Johnny, while you're up, you should probably run to the gas station and get some limes.
The Bud Light limes.
Yeah.
Dude,
because I was promised you would have one with me. That was
a promise.
Contract.
That was a part of the contract.
Oh, that was not part of the contract.
I disagree, but it's fine.
All right, Michael Kister, thanks for joining. Cat's Pajamas, I need you to DM me, brother. You won a draft kit, so DM us on Instagram or Twitter, and you will get that draft kit. We'll get you that code, Cat's Pajamas.
Cat's Pajamas.
The Cat's Pajamas.
That's the name of the chat. I heard you say that a few hours back, but I would like to double down on that.
Yeah, Austin, that's Austin's favorite. He mocks a lot with us. We love the Cat's Pajamas. He mocks a lot with us on the Monday nights. And Austin is just enamored with that name, and rightfully so.
Rightfully so, 100%. Okay, what should I fill up my bench with here? So I've got one tight end down there. Are you guys believers in the backup tight end?
It is. I believe if you take a guy like Higbee or some of these later tight ends, we like taking two of them.
I got Higbee, so yeah. I guess you can see that.
Yeah, and to be there are, I mean, Jonnu Smith or some of our we like Jonnu Smith, T.J. Hawkinson. And even Austin Hooper at this ADP and Blake Jarwin are going to be like the main guys that we would. Travis and I are kind of fading a little bit. Jared Cook, Travis found a great stat. Was saying how much of. Well, I'll just let you say the stat.
Well, Jared Cook caught about 6 or 7 touchdowns from the slot last year, and that's where Emmanuel Sanders is going to run like 70% of his routes. So I just do think that Emmanuel Sanders eats into Cook's value. Like Jonnu Smith, I think that's a good pick, especially in that offense. It's going to be pretty balanced.
Tennessee's
dude, you just timed out.
I didn't realize it was my pick.
Yeah, unreal.
I did add him to the queue.
Oh,
though,
all right.
All right.
A couple things here. You're getting a lot of love to stay in that 5th hour. Just want to bring it up again.
I think it's the Galladay jersey.
Yeah. What's Stroph's top 3 teams in this mock? So we're going to get into that. Stroph, you can start taking a peek at those teams. And Cat's Pajamas says, thanks for the draft kit, guys. Appreciate it. We love it. Matthew P is also offering you a signed jersey, and I think what he means is just a jersey he's got in his house.
So you're
that he'll
telling
sign
me,
it.
His YMCA basketball league.
Yeah, I think back in the day, his
ago?
Pop Warner jersey, he's going to sign it and send it to you. So
DM me on Instagram or Twitter. I'll send you my address.
I'll get you Stroph's address so you can send that signed jersey over. Oh man, that's great. That is rich.
That's good stuff.
All right, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm gonna take Johnny's boy here.
My last pick, Johnny. What would please you with my last pick?
Anybody?
Where's the?
I'm kind of looking here.
I'm gonna go flex, right? I mean, we'll categorize it that way.
Well, I'm gonna make my pick, and then I'll talk you through yours.
I think I know what I want to do.
Oh, okay, then you do it.
If it's
that's a good one.
Still there, which it should be. Oh, you've got to be kidding me!
Yeah,
you knew that that was the direction.
I did.
Right?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Here's where you should go. I mean, Zach Moss here. I think should be your pick. Travis. I mean. We've had people.
So he's backing up Singletary.
Yes, but if you
I wanted Henderson because obviously I have Akers. I was trying to handcuff.
Right. And that's a definite.
I like Moss. I'm good with Moss.
Yeah, I mean, handcuffing is definitely a decent strat. It's going to be interesting with COVID and all that on how that works out, on whether you'd rather take a stash at somebody else's bench, because usually if like one person gets it, like probably the whole room is going to get it. I don't know.
That's not a bad point.
And so, but with that said, I don't think, when we had this debate on or earlier during the mock draft marathon, I am a believer in Singletary over Zach Moss, but I don't like Singletary's ADP right now in redraft leagues. I just think
he's been falling, and I saw somebody made that comment earlier.
Yeah,
he fell to what round here?
Let's see. He fell to
7-2.
Yeah. So that's actually, I don't mind in a 10-team league. I actually don't mind him at the 7-2. I think the risk is kind of baked in there. But there are a lot of concerns with Singletary, and that's what it is. I believe in Singletary as a running back, and I'm fine with that value. But like I said, if you're having to take him any higher, there is a lot of risk baked in, and there is a possibility that Zach Moss does end up taking over. I must admit that there is a possibility of that, but I don't believe that's true, but there is a possibility.
So I'm just surveying, not ignoring you, Johnny. I'm just surveying all these things.
Oh, you're
look like,
you're
so
fine. I am reading conversation. Jacob Bley said he thought the guy that you were talking shit to last year had Brown in his last name.
It did.
It did. Look at that. Our number one fan. That is why he's our number one fan.
You know, Bley was in on the late night last year too, and so that's why he knows.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. But I can't remember, man. I cannot remember the exact.
I could probably look in our Twitter DMs from last year. It takes some research, but that's for another.
I mean, if we don't find it, it's not the end of the world. But that would be great if he popped back in.
What a gem!
Jeffrey was Brown.
Oh my!
Jeffrey was Brown.
Christopher Molina come in clutch.
Wow!
Jeffrey was Brown. Man, how great would that be if he just popped in right now?
Oh my gosh!
Woo, I'm sending the vibes out there in the universe. He did have a Twitter. I just don't know where that.
Somebody find Jeffrey.
I don't know if that's what it was.
That was on here. All right.
So you have promised Whisper Nation in the chat here your top 3 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I promised that.
It's in your contract, so we're gonna need it.
Okay, excuse me, Travi. Yeah, that's right. I forgot you were just brutal on the contractual side.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm just gonna look through these quickly, and I've already been doing that, but I'm buying time here because I don't know.
Oh, smart. Chris looked in the sleeper from last year.
Matthew P wants to wants you to know that signed jersey is actually an Andy Dalton shirt. So you're welcome.
Dallas or Cincinnati. That will.
That's a qualifier.
I like little introvert who drafted 9th. You know, the wide receivers aren't super sexy by any means, and a late round quarterback, but the running back pieces are just off the charts.
I love that team, actually. I like the quarterback. I think Carson.
I love that Kenyon Drake pick, and I know, Johnny, you're going to love me saying that. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Kenyon Drake fan this year.
Yeah, there we go.
And I mentioned earlier Melvin Gordon, how I feel about him. Allen Robinson, he's a great wide receiver. He had Mitch Trubisky throwing to him last year, and he had a great year. I know up close and personal what Raheem Mostert can do to a defense. He ran for
please stop.
On the Packers.
Please stop talking.
I've always had a crush on Devontae Parker, although it's never really panned out. Maybe this is the year.
Last year,
he had
that 5th-year breakout last year.
Yeah.
Was it later in the year? Or was it once I traded him or something?
Yeah, it might have been that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was halfway through the season, and yeah, dude, he had his classic, 5th-year senior movement, and he graduated. So.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
But he's still fallen to end of round 7. So.
The steal.
Still what? That's a 3rd wide receiver. Yeah, I like that. J.K. Dobbins, I'm a big fan of that pick too, and Deebo Samuel even. I mean, all the way down the board. And you can do a lot worse than Wentz at quarterback. So
yeah,
I like that team a lot. Travi, I hate giving you credit, but I like that team. The Jackson pick's super safe as long as he's safe, right? As long as he's not.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get hurt, maybe, right?
Exactly. We know I love the Arizona offense. I have Arizona being a playoff team this year, actually. So DeAndre Hopkins, I'm big on. Saquon, potentially the best back in the league this year. Ben Roethlisberger's back, so Juju's going to be big. Mark Ingram's still the lead back. You went back-to-back Ravens, which you want to eat up, and you have Jackson. That's like my one downfall. They have a bad week. Your team's going to have a bad week. But other than that, I mean, Singletary, we talked about him before. The Edelman pick, we talked enough about. Evan Ingram as your tight end. You can do much worse.
This is hilarious because Big Travie took Devin Singletary, and I was
hoping we were going to
Moss.
avoid talking about it here.
No.
Bley said, Travie took Singletary. Where's the rant? And I just said, shh, and you missed it until you just brought it up right now.
Well, no, we were talking about the rant earlier because I was telling Alex who to take, and I said take Zach Moss here because it's a good value. And I never saw that you took Singletary way earlier.
Yeah,
but I actually said I liked the value.
Yeah, the value was good there in the 7th. Yeah.
You missed that because you're doing your millionth wardrobe change.
Look, that's what I do, man. Got to change the wardrobe.
I got to pick one more team.
One more.
Mine. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you should do it. We haven't let any other guests do it, but we'll let you do it.
Then I'm not going to do it. I got to get through all these quickly. Ellie Gaffin. I'm reading this one.
Yeah.
I hate them all. Do better next time.
All right. So he just likes 2.
I'm gonna stick to 2.
Okay, then. That's fine.
Am I breaking the contract?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you've been doing it since you got on here, so really.
So I'm not gonna be seeing that check.
Yeah. No, there's no check coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
You essentially opted out, and that's fine.
All right.
All right.
I gotta find.
Did we get this tweeted out? We get the new one tweeted out.
Wait. Hold on.
Jeffrey was Brown. What a legend.
Well, he really is a legend.
That was clutch. All right.
He's got to be awake.
Where are we at with this?
I'm going to tweet out the sleeper link here for everybody. Is this it? 12-team standard?
Oh, my God. I think I found him.
Yeah.
Did you?
Did you?
You guys follow him on Twitter.
Well, that makes sense.
Oh.
He said he's a retired NFL and drafted free agent.
Wait, what?
Which is funny.
Ooh, I don't
but he
remember
also
that.
hasn't tweeted. He hasn't tweeted since.
It's a burner account.
Burner. Yeah, well, hit him up. Just slide into the DMs.
All right. Jeffrey was Brown.
I am stepping away for this hour. Austin is going to be running the show here with you guys.
You'll be missed, man.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, dude, the stream doesn't know what's about to hit him. 3 Packers fans?
Where?
I love it, dude.
All right, never mind. I don't know.
I love it. It's going to go green and yellow, green and yellow.
12-team standard.
12-team standard. We're about to tweet that link out. So make sure you guys are over on Twitter. Guys, we are going to give away a Whisper Nation Listener League spot within this 4 hours. Alex is going to give that away. But also, you can win in the other 2 spots by following Sleeper on Twitter, Sleeper HQ, taking a screenshot of that follow, and tagging at TF Whisperers in that follow, or in that screenshot. That will enter you in for those final 2 spots. Alex, you're in our Whisper Nation Listener League this year after an epic drunk dial-in voicemail.
Yeah, so you want to know what's funny about that? And I wish Johnny was here. I was in. I'm
going to let you finish, brother, but I'm going to bring it. And you better bring it too, because I'm coming for your ass.
Promo right now?
Yeah, dude,
is he cutting a promo?
He just is live reading, no sound. He knew you were talking. He just wanted to come in.
He went from Bill O'Reilly to Stone Cold Steve Austin in like 15 minutes.
Oh my God, he's got them all. He's like the guy from.
Is that a Mike Vick or a Byron Leftwich?
That's a Colin Kaepernick.
This one, this was the Nike edition Colin Kaepernick.
Oh.
One that they dropped.
Okay, I just saw all blacked out 7, so I thought it was either like an Eagles or Falcons Vic or a.
Right, I know Alex.
Leftwich was 7, right? Austin, what's up, dude?
It's I'm so glad to see you, and I just gotta say,
so glad to see you.
I'm just a little disappointed. I was so close to hitting the Strofe shirt just right. Chelsea's like, I need to pull out the plaid. And she gave me, and she's like, which one? And I had a gray one that was that exact same pattern. I went with the more the gingham print.
Okay.
For Alex Strofe here, so I needed to pay tribute to the man himself here.
Only in these late hours.
What the hell's happening?
He's got the Strofe shirt on, dude.
The Strofe shirt.
There's no similarities.
The button up.
90 degrees and it's a button up, man. It's got plaid.
Fair enough.
You're like, that's gingham. This is a different form of plaid. They're
Like
completely,
Gangnam style?
Yeah, it's like a
Whoop,
plaid, like a herringbone or Burberry print or things like that. It's a pattern.
Wow.
Didn't you,
Dude, my guy right here, Austin, is in here with the Prince. Talking about, I love this.
Come with Prince Strofe. You need to come with the right.
Oh, I love it. So we've got a full room. Guys,
Austin,
1 a.m.
Who are you?
He'll be Johnny's.
JW.
JW's, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was just missing him. Got it.
So we've got everybody in here. Full. Can't believe this, man. 1:03 a.m. and Whisper Nation showing out with a full mock draft lobby. 12-team standard here with Alex Strofe. This one's special to us, Alex. 12-team standard is the scoring setting for our league of record. That big old honking belt right there that I won last year. Austin's in that league with me. Johnny, of course.
Very nice.
And so 12-team standard is how we rock. So let's do this thing. If you could start the draft for me.
I can start the draft for you.
Nicely done, Austin.
Thank you. Well,
Proud
let's not give praise. Nothing's happened just yet.
Yeah, he hasn't really started it
I
yet.
haven't started it yet. Is it here?
I got to give you pre-praise.
Delete draft? Is that the button?
Begin draft?
Delete draft?
No, don't delete it.
Delete draft. Yes, that's correct.
No.
Start it.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live
Plug
then.
it.
What's
The
that
draft
mean
has
to
begun.
take us out?
And
All
now we're
right.
starting. There we go.
All right,
This is it.
Cat's Pajamas goes McCaffrey. I think I'll follow suit and go Barkley. I think that's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, look, that's pretty chalky.
So what do we think Ezekiel Elliott's production is going to look like under Mike McCarthy? Because he's typically not treated running backs well.
No, but he did retain Kellen Moore to call the plays there in Dallas, and I think
Yes,
McCarthy
that's true.
kind of learned his lesson in the last
by
few
being
years.
Fired?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that
and
might make
I
sense.
watched an interview he did with who's the guy who writes for Sports Illustrated, Peter King.
Yes, that's the one.
Peter King did an interview with McCarthy at his compound out in Wisconsin where he was studying.
Oh, that's about 3 miles away from my my mother's place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're familiar, and he just retooled. He went and studied all the offenses in the league, and I think he came back to Dallas and just said, "Look, I'm not going to do what I did there and try to just call the plays at the end and run this into the ground. I'm essentially going to do my best to let the bright minds around me kind of run it." And so I think he's starting to do that.
Will that pay off?
I think in this case it did. Kellen Moore did some big things for that offense last year.
Yes,
and
I actually completely forgot he's back.
Yeah, so
that's a great point.
I think this offense is poised. It's got all the weapons in the world. As long as they realize it starts with Zeke, they'll be just fine. And then just get them working in the passing game. I don't think it's going to matter. We've got Zeke projected in our draft kit, which you guys can get at thefantasywhispers.com. We've got him projected as our number 1 overall running back. And that's just based on the stats we've got, based on what we've put into the system. We just really like Zeke's outlook this year, and in that offense, it's going to be good. It should be really good.
I love Strove's point there about, damn it, Jacob Bley. Should have seen that one come and did see that one come, but still stings nonetheless. I would agree with your point there about Mike McCarthy not favoring the running backs when he's had Aaron Rodgers over there. I'd also say that the Packers during McCarthy's tenure never had any running back near the caliber of an Ezekiel Elliott with a proven history. And
right.
I mean, the closest thing you could say is Eddie Lacy, and that's not close enough to even bring up. But Eddie Lacy,
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones. But you could talk about those guys having success though, in brief moments.
Right, and Eddie Lacy, when Eddie Lacy was the Rookie of the Year, came out and did his thing. He balled, and in fantasy drafts the following year, I think you took him actually in the top 5. And then
he was a top 5 pick. Yeah.
And probably should have been for a couple more years, but we all have our own demons.
Troy Rofi asking me why McCarthy didn't do that when he was a Packers coach. He was too busy getting massages in Lambeau Field to really coach any games. So
is that McCarthy?
Yeah, that was the word. That's the word I heard. Maybe
that was the word.
Strofe could elaborate a little bit on that more, but Yeah, that's what I was hearing.
I remember that story, but that was already 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He had like 6 massages a day, didn't he?
Yeah, something crazy like that, where he was just he was missing team meetings to getting massages deep within the bowels of Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
Like, all right, whatever, man. Like, I guess he was just checked out, and I think that's what happened. The team was checked out with him, and you could see it.
I want to go back to Dallas though.
Yeah.
Because I have a rebuttal for what you said. So I just find it weird that you can make this claim that which I believe it, that McCarthy has dug into the archives of every team in the NFL, and he's totally going to.
When you're unemployed, you could do a lot.
You can. Yeah. That's true. He got kicked out of high school basketball games for yelling at referees too when he was unemployed.
Getting that $600 a week.
Yeah, but. I don't know. When you've got Amari Cooper coming out this week, the first week the teams are back in the facilities saying we're going to have 3,000-yard receivers.
Oh, I'll tell you why Amari Cooper's saying that. Because he looks around the wide receiver room and goes, I could actually be the odd man out here. Because Michael Gallup's really good, and so is CeeDee Lamb. And I think he's looking there going like, oh, really? They could actually – there's some financial things to get away out of his contract when it's all said and done, where they're going to have more ties to Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. So that's why I think he says that.
I just want to bring in a couple of the excellent conversations we've heard from some of our analysts, including Game Time over here, talking about that exact dynamic of the wide receiver cores in Dallas, factoring in the financial freedom that's going to happen if they do let go of Amari Cooper, which I think is a great point. Evan Silva had brought it up saying, look, Cooper is the number one. They went ahead and paid the man, and they intend to throw it to the man. And while that's all well and good, and while he's there, I think they will, he's eating up a ton of that cap space. And Michael Gallup is just as efficient as a receiver, and in some areas even more. You could argue that Gallup is the true number one over there who's not making anywhere near the kind of dough that Cooper is. CeeDee Lamb is now the guy that fell to them in the 16th. Jerry Jones wet his pants in all the best ways when that fell to him, and he swooped him up. So from a financial standpoint and moving the chess pieces around, I think it makes a lot of sense to make a move to get rid of Cooper, trade him out. You could get a really good haul for him, find one of those wide receiver needy teams, get some picks for him, free up that cap space, keep 2 stud-ass wide receivers over there, and then you have more freedom to do what's going on. So when Johnny pointed that one out, and Ryan on the last episode painted some of the pictures of how good he really is, I think that's a pretty viable move going down the road, and they're at least considering.
Why do you sign him to a $100 million contract in March if your plan is to trade him, though?
I'd say why not? If you get to
you didn't get CeeDee Lamb yet. So if you don't get CeeDee Lamb, even though this was one of the most wide receiver rich drafts we saw, but also I would just say that I think there's a situation where I think they would be looking at trading, and then if they don't feel like they need to trade him because he's balling out, they're winning in that situation because they've got all these wide receivers that are balling out. I think it also makes it easier for them to make the choice to go away from Dak Prescott. And I know this sounds crazy, but if you stack the wide receiver room, you might feel a little bit better by coming in with like another quarterback. I don't know what the deal is. I'd be paying Dak Prescott. I would have paid him this year. I know the money seems crazy, but he's a winning quarterback for them.
I think that Alex, not to stay with Dallas too much longer here, but I think that that's a really good point. Given where they're at, though, it seems like one of those situations where why not? You've been looking to have that franchise receiver after Dez Bryant wasn't the guy anymore, and Amari Cooper, given his talent, his draft pedigree, and I think in this case, most importantly, his age, is going to mean that contract isn't going to spoil for a really long time. Based on the name value, based on the consistent production, this is the kind of wide receiver that even if he has a down year, he's still an attractive trade candidate to another team who's wide receiver heavy. So you can sign him to this deal knowing it's still going to stay liquid. You can still move it around. You still then go out and get CeeDee Lamb because he's the best guy available at that spot. And if Dak is your quarterback, great weapons for him. If Dak's not your quarterback, great weapons for your backup, now being Andy Dalton or whoever the hell it would end up being. So to me, it seems like a really smart play. You keep Cooper happy. You keep the locker room productive.
I'm just imagining the world where Andy Dalton gets the contract that Dak Prescott wants right now.
Oh, my God.
They just let Prescott go, and then for some reason Dalton has a big year, and they're just like, yeah, you're our guy. Texas Christian, let's go.
Like a Ryan Tannehill.
We love you, baby.
That would be sweet. That would be sweet. I don't care what anyone says. That would be sweet.
Oh, that would be ridiculous.
They would make quite the movie about Andy Dalton.
Oh man,
Red Rocket in the perfectly. How do you describe his hair, Travis?
Perfectly coiffed.
Coiffed. That's the word I was looking
It's
for.
a perfectly coiffed head of hair.
I swear to God, he puts a comb in the front of his helmet so that when he takes it off, it's just like.
No doubt. Josh McCown had some really slick hair too. He knew what he was doing on that sideline game.
How do they? I mean, we're in the late hours on this one. Some of these dudes who take off their helmet, I'm like, is that plastic hair? How did you do that? Because I've worn a helmet before and it comes out. Look, it's just boom. I don't know how they do it.
It's magic.
They must practice.
Stro, if you've got 3 picks in, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Hopkins, James Conner, how you feeling about that top 3?
I like it better than Derrick Henry, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Allen Robinson II.
Who is that?
How's it? I can't even read it.
I can't even read. Yeah,
it's full. It's the person picking before/after you. Truth Serum FF or something.
Not a fan of those 3.
It's not that I'm not a fan of those 3. I just like mine better. I was gonna bring it up though. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, I understand the hype.
Oh man, this is some of the latest he's gone in mocks.
I understand why everybody falls in love with that, especially with Joe Buck's playoff Damian opting out. But I don't love him as much as everybody else. I don't know what it is. I think he'll be the feature. Obviously, he'll be the feature back. Obviously,
was it his college game that you don't like? I mean, because he was
because he was solid in college too. But and if I'm not mistaken, he was the top drafted running back.
Yep, that's correct. First rounder,
only first rounder.
Only first rounder. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I honestly cannot tell you. That offense runs through Mahomes. Maybe is more what it is. And I've said this before, so I'll just repeat what I've said. I like Jonathan Taylor, and this might be my Wisconsin bias, but I like Jonathan Taylor plugging into Indianapolis, where that offense isn't going to run through Phillip Rivers, whereas Kansas City's offense obviously runs through the talent of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but I think what made Damian Williams so special, and what's going to make CEH special, is those wheel routes that they throw. Like they dump those wheel route, those screens right out. And that's why everybody would be like, oh, Damian Williams, I just don't get it. That's why he stayed on the field, because Mahomes knew that if he threw it out, Damian Williams was going to run under it, catch it, and they were going to get a first down. And I think that's what they're dealing with CEH, plus the between the tackles elusiveness that he showed in college as well. And a first-round running back on a team that, they didn't really have any holes other than running back, honestly. I love CEH, and I get why he's going, but I love him in the second round. And I've just been trying to say that. Like, I love him in the second round. That's as high as we were kind of seeing Kareem Hunt going. And I think that you're drafting him. When you draft him in the first, you're drafting him at Kareem Hunt's ceiling. And I feel like you're drafting CEH at his ceiling there, too. And Kareem Hunt, just to say how special Kareem Hunt was, he led the league in rushing as a rookie. Yeah. So, like, it's not just that, CH could be Kareem Hunt. He was special. Kareem Hunt was also special in that offense as well.
Leads the league in the broken tackles as well. And even with all of his missed games last year, he was still up there in broken tackles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right there. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and, like, obviously, I mean, Kansas City's offense is just unmatched.
They're
just ridiculous. So, I'm good with him late second. The hype really snuck up on me.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't expecting, even though obviously first round pick, probably going to be the feature back regardless of Damian Williams opt out. It's concerning to me. I don't know.
You know what?
It's almost like people are trying to jump ahead of a repeat on Kareem Hunt, like you keep referencing.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's when it goes in the first. I'm just like, I get it.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing I would bring it out to bring a little bit more comfort in with it. Now, I know that CEH was the first running back taken off the board. He was the only first-round running back taken. But I think everybody would agree that there's a difference between Clyde Edwards-Helaire and, say, a Saquon Barkley or a Ezekiel Elliott or even a Leonard Fournette, one of these top 5
like the back of the first versus like a top or a top 10 drafted
a guy who's
running
drafted
back.
to be like a franchise changer there. And so I would understand, CEH of where he's going, even with his bump up now in ADP after, he's got that clear shot ahead. But when we were having Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley go, these guys were going in the top 5 picks of redraft league. I think Ezekiel Elliott in our league of record went 4th, and Saquon went 5th.
Yeah, even
5th. Chelsea took him first over at 5th right after Ezekiel Elliott, and those guys panned out really, really well. And CEH probably won't be as talented as either one of those guys. We know he's a very talented one, but the situation he's coming into, hell, if you are the starting running back for the Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid Kansas City Chiefs, my goodness, I don't care who you are, put anybody here on this podcast in that position, and we're still probably going to get literally 4.0 yards per carry and, do some good things over there. So given what it all is, I think even at his current ADP, it even could be a steal, because for my dark horse running back, we've been talking a lot about who's your league winner dark horse. CEH for me is a clear-cut guy who could be that number 1 pick who's really not even getting kind of considered.
Yeah, I mean, right now he definitely is, though. CEH is definitely getting the consideration now because of Damian.
I mean, he's starting to get it.
Yeah. But, no, I liked him, what you're talking about. If Damian Williams doesn't opt out, CEH is definitely.
CEH or Dalvin Cook?
I would take Dalvin right now.
Yeah, but it gives you a little bit of
pause. But you paused.
Right?
Yeah, no, and I've taken CEH and mocks today and not Dalvin. So I get it. Like I said,
you know what it would be for me?
I wouldn't not do it. If that makes any sense, double negative. I just don't like having to take him in the first.
Here's the way I want to frame this one, because we talked about when you're splitting hairs between these kinds of guys, and
it's offense.
On offense, right?
Yeah.
Last year it was the prime case for me. If I was a big Hunter Henry fan, but I had done my tiers, I'd done the research, done all the stuff, and I had Devontae Freeman just well above, because he was going to be catching those third down passes. He was going to be in that scat back and early down role, and we know how valuable those pass catching opportunities are. So I was like, God damn, I don't want Devontae Freeman, but I believe he's the starter pick. And that was not the case. Devontae Freeman did not run the ball well, and it reinforced the point to me of, if you're flipping a coin or close to it, and you're deciding to go with the guy that you just think is a little bit better, but let's say you really don't like that guy and you like the guy behind him, do yourself a favor and just grab the dude you like. We're all here to have fun. We're all making educated guesses the best that we can. And if it's so close between two guys, I'd grab the guy that I like. So I would agree Dalvin Cook is the smarter choice over CEH. And if I was in a drafting right behind Big Travie, I would hope that those two guys are the ones we're considering. And I would hope that he takes Dalvin Cook just so I can have guilt-free love for CEH, because that's the guy I would actually want. But it'd be hard for me to take him over Dalvin Cook.
Good to know now. Hopefully I'm right next to you, and I'll be taking CEH just to spite.
You would do that too,
I would,
man.
yeah,
King Crumbly Thief himself.
Well, here's the deal. You know me in our league of record, I'll end up trading everybody away anyways. So
yeah.
I just do things in the draft to kind of have some fun with it. I'll just end up.
And
trading.
we've had some really good trades over the years.
Yeah, I've had some bad ones I probably shouldn't have given you.
Yeah, maybe when I gave you Mark Ingram though for Jay Ajayi and he got hurt
that was nice. I did like that. Yeah, I did like that one. But I traded you
Christian McCaffrey
and Julio Jones for Tyreek Hill because I wanted to double dip
and a bunch of Ronald Jones,
some scrubs,
and some other guys who didn't pan out.
Anyways, Strofe, we're now 5 rounds in. I gotta do some math here. So you went into
5 rounds in.
Cooper Kupp and Mark Andrews after that. Friend of the show, Mark Andrews. I like to call him Mark Mandrews. We love Mark Andrews, man. He is a stud. We watched him ascend to greatness last year, and I think he's just got this huge path to 25% of the target market share there in Baltimore on a team that's probably going to throw more than they had to last year because they were just in so many positive game scripts. But talk to me about Cooper Kupp.
He was the best or highest ranked wide receiver on the board, truthfully. So I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it.
Love it. Love the honesty.
I will be real. I mean, it's 3:30 in the morning. I'll be honest. Cooper Kupp, though, I mean, we like his quickness. We like his ability in the LA offense. I don't think they could be any worse than they were last year, right? A year off the Super Bowl, quite the Super Bowl hangover.
Right.
I mean, their Super Bowl hangover was the equivalent to our combined hangovers the Monday after the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
It was about as bad as you can get.
I like that. So,
but Cooper Kupp, obviously, still tremendous ability. I like him. I mean, late 4, you can't really go wrong there as a WR2. So, I went that direction. I typically don't go early with tight ends, and I think I preached a lot about that last year. But as you said, I like his ceiling in the Baltimore offense. Obviously, he proved what he's able to do last year. So I like Mark Andrews a lot. His ascent to greatness indeed was quite immaculate to watch go down last year.
Strofe, talk a little bit about what you got going on, because you do Cream City Central. I see that, and you do the Alex Strofe show through there. So can you give the listeners a lowdown on where they can find you doing those things?
Yeah, so Twitter is probably the easiest way to get at me personally, at Alex_Strofe. I think it's actually
that link's in the description.
So go, you can find me there. And then I do the Alex Strofe show twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3 to 5 Central, which is my time, 1 to 3 by you guys. Essentially, it's essentially a sports radio show.
Yeah.
Just not actually on the radio. But it's streamed through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. On Cream City Central's platforms. We do 2 hours, just conversation, opinions, and interviews and conversation. So it's been a really fun project. We launched it back in early June. So I've been doing that. So that's kind of the lowdown on that. At Cream City Central on pretty much all the socials, which is a Milwaukee-based Wisconsin.
Cream City Central. Make sure to check that one out. I wanted to speak on this one, Strofe. It feels like 2 weeks ago, but it was probably like 2 years ago. You had, I think, shared this post in the MegaCast group, a group that we're all here a part of. A bunch of people making good stuff, fantasy around sports and sports communities and whatnot. And you, I believe it was you, had shared a little story of how you had first gotten involved in sports commentary, and I believe it was with the Wisconsin Arena Football League out there, and you had talked. That's maybe that's not the name of the league there, but it was.
You're close. Yeah.
Thank you. And it was, your story of how you first got your first sports talk job, and it was such a cool and honest story that I could tell and butcher, but I'd rather just turn it back over to you and get a fresh dose of that story again. It was such a cool one. I think Whisper Nation would appreciate.
So the Arena Football League story, I think. So the Indoor Football League, which is expanding exponentially with the folding. Is it my pick? Almost. My pick. Now it's my pick. Just trying to distract me so I miss another pick. Unbelievable, Austin. Have some respect.
That's exactly what I have for you, man. That's what I pull out all the tricks against you, man.
I don't want to get auto picked with Darius Geis.
Oh no, that happens.
That is my auto.
I
pick
have
right
done
now,
it.
So
I've done it.
Oof. I go Dobbins here. Sorry, Austin. So anyway, so as mentioned at the top, I'm 21, so I'm still pretty young. But I've done sports journalism, and I mentioned earlier, I've been working or trying to work at least in sports media since I was about 14. But like 2 years ago now, I just sent a reel to the Green Bay Blizzard, which is the Wisconsin team in the Indoor Football League. There's actually a team in San Diego now for all of you, and there's an Arizona team for Johnny. But I emailed them. Yeah, let's not tell them.
But really,
I emailed them and I just said, hey, this is what I do, and they brought me in, and essentially I was able to talk my way into a gig. And
hadn't you been writing? You had a blog when you were even younger, like you were like 12, 13 years old or something like that, and we're like writing about him or something, and then this popped up, and you sent him over you responded to the resume, and they hit you back in 5 minutes, and we're like, we're gonna call you tomorrow or something like that. It was
it was pretty similar to that. You keep talking to me when I'm on the clock. Do I not have I don't even have a quarterback yet, Austin.
I love it.
I like Dak, really high on Dak.
Yep. We're talking about Dallas at the top.
I like
of this
McCarthy
draft.
too. I like McCarthy over there.
Yeah, he's done good work with quarterbacks, even when his days as a coordinator in San Francisco. He was really good with quarterbacks. So
took Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers.
That is not one of his brightest moments, but Smith hasn't had a terrible career.
No, definitely not. But I'm cutting off the rest of the Stroh's
Yeah, well,
pick.
we've got to
all over
wait
the
until it
place.
wraps around to Strofe anyway, so that you can wait to
right.
talk till he's on the
Well,
clock.
Travis and I will tell a story or
Yeah.
two now about this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
exactly.
Just some old man chat
Yeah.
over there.
No, but we've been talking to a lot of our different guests coming on about what got you
Yeah.
into sports, what got you into fantasy football, and your story of that one. I mean, we all know you got the voice for it. We hear it here.
I didn't always have the voice though.
Did you work on it? Did you?
So
Puberty
like,
came good?
I don't want to lie and act like no, I've never worked on it. Like now that I'm trying to actually get into this business, I'll admit right now, like I have a broadcasting coach. I have a guy who trains me now.
Nice.
But that's recent. But like back when I was like 16, yeah, I tried to lower my voice. I wanted to sound like a man, not a dude that's just I'm gonna try to keep this PG-13, just growing hair in places where the sun don't shine. Right?
Tag on our Reddit post.
Yeah,
promoting
no,
this, though, so-
we're in the late night hours. You can be a little unfiltered here.
Okay, good. That's good to hear because I am, I'm only on beer 2, but by the time we get to beer 5 or 6,
Yeah,
I might
no, you'll
wanting
be
some
rocking
extra.
through. Yeah.
So you're asking me how I got started is really the question. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, how'd you get what really pulled you in the sports, and then the broadcasting one most specifically for Strofe? I mean, from the voice, from the involvement, from the arena football, from the college shows, from Cream City Central, all the amazing stuff that you do, and you, like you said, you're just 21 years old. You are, and I said this last year, and it's even more true now. People are going to know your name across this country, and if they don't know your name, they're sure as hell going to know your voice. And so just what more of that? I love you. You're the broadcasting coach. You worked on lowering your voice when you were younger. I mean, I think these are awesome tidbits. What other kind of things has gotten you on this path and put you on this trajectory?
Yeah, well, I appreciate the nice compliment there and the question. So I've kind of always known what I wanted to do, and that sounds, I don't know if that sounds like, ooh, but it's the truth. I had heart surgery when I was 3, so I could never play football, and that's been my favorite sport since I was born during a Packer game. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, in Green Bay. So like, it doesn't get much easier than that to fall in love with football when Brett Favre's throwing bombs every week growing up. So, I had heart surgery when I was 3, could never play contact sports. I saw Stuart Scott when I was like 6 or 7 on Sports Center, doing what Stuart Scott does. And I always said, I want to be like that guy. Yeah. May he rest in peace. So, I mean, from just, a young age, 13, 14, I just started, going on sports forums and sports blogs. I made my own blog. Eventually that landed me the gig I mentioned at the top with SB Nation. That turned into making my own website called All Wisconsin Athletics, which was an independent sports or Wisconsin sports site for about a year and a half. That merged with the site that's still up called Dairyland Express, which is owned by Fansided and Sports Illustrated. And then I just did kind of like miscellaneous gigs. I worked for my hometown newspaper for 3 years while I was in high school and then a little bit out of high school. Went to school about an hour and a half west of my hometown, right in the middle of the state, small university in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, which ironically, and I didn't even know this, I was a horrible student in high school, right? 2.6 GPA, didn't do my homework, was way too focused on things outside the classroom.
Bud Light Limes.
Yes, most definitely. But I got into here, and they had just happened to have the largest radio or student-run radio station in the Midwest.
Nice.
So, 2 weeks into school, I walk in there and I say, "Hey, this is what I'm interested in and have done." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a sports show tomorrow. Come on." And I was just me, we just started talking about the Packers, and I was rambling. And this dude's like, "I'm a senior. You want my job next year?" And I was like, "Yeah." And now I'm 2 years into running the whole station. And
Hell yeah.
So I have, so my title is station manager of a radio station, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
It's still weird to look at me as a manager, but whatever.
Do they give you the keys?
Yeah, I don't have my keys with me.
But you
Well,
have
I think last year,
I have a ring.
Last year you drafted in the station, did you not?
I was actually at the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
Last year. No, I was going to draft in the station tonight, but it's in a university building, so I couldn't drink beer at 2 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I like this trade.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my girlfriend's apartment, so she's probably still awake. just listening to me yell.
Yeah.
But
well,
I took to the living room.
We appreciate her being patient with you while you work through.
She always is. She's the best.
Yeah.
So So she knows that this is the shit I love to do, and couldn't ask for a better support system. So that's also been a big part, in my journey, is people that haven't told me I'm absolutely. It says this is late night. I so many people could have told me, and people have, that I'm fucking insane for looking at a career in sports media, because it's really hard to sustain one.
Right.
And we see that more and more, especially in 2020. But nobody's ever told me to stop. Nobody's ever told me that I couldn't do it. It's always been, let's take the necessary steps to make you better.
So what you find, 15, right? Like what you find, not to cut you off there, is that you're the only one who can really tell you no anyways. You're going to be true. They could tell you that you're not going to make it, but really, Alex, this, if you decide that you're over, then it's done. Other than that, just keep going.
Absolutely. And I agree with that 100%. And, but it's been such a wacky road. And I think what you'll learn from hearing from everybody you've asked this question to, or a variation of this question to, is there's no right path to get started. Especially in the world of the internet and podcasts, you can start your own thing and do what you guys are doing, right? This is self-made, and you've got 30 people rocking with you on YouTube at 3:30 a.m. my time.
Yeah, just want to give a shout out to
pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and we appreciate you coming on here. It's just nice to get around the like-mindedness of the grind.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, there's some like-minded people grinding with us in this chat. You mentioned about 30 people. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up, and drop a TFW in the chat. Make sure you're subscribed, because at the end of this, when we get to the 13th round, that final round, remember, we're not drafting kickers or defenses. We're going to be giving away this bad boy right here. Let them see it. The Kenny Golladay jersey.
Oh, my God.
So make sure you guys love Kenny Golladay.
I was doing some research, getting prepped up for this day, and looking through Kenny Galladay's stats, it inspired a segment that I want to do. Dudes on the up. It's like,
I like
guys
that.
who are going from 1B to 1A, or that 1 to elite, or making those jumps into those next tiers. I was crunching the numbers on Kenny G, and here they go. Truth bumps. Can't fake these. How tall?
4 times in the last 2 hours.
They come up, man. The body can't lie. And Kenny Galladay's stats, from the amount of targets that he got, from the amount of yards he collected, the touchdown ratio.
With and without Stafford. That's my favorite.
Yes.
8 games with, 8 games without. Still was a top 7 wide receiver.
Yeah.
I just love everything about Kenny G, and I love the offense he's in, because the defense is going to be so bad in Detroit. They're going to be chucking it. We saw, and then if it is Stafford, he's locked in to me for top 5.
Do you have any concern about the pace of play given Patricia's system? And
no, because I've seen it with Kenny G now. I've seen it. If I had saw what I saw with Patricia and Kerryon Johnson, I'd be concerned. But with Kenny G, not only did I see it with the offense because of the way the defense works, and they're just going to have to come back in games, but I saw it with and without Stafford, like I was saying. So that gives me a lot of I love Kenny G. He was my bromance this year in our bromance episode, because I just don't see a situation where Kenny G lets you down this year.
I agree.
He's just QB proof. The offense is tailored towards him. Stafford loves him. And
Jones
knows
his role.
Yeah.
Jones is great, but I think he
and Jones balls. Jones balls out. He has games where he balls out 4 touchdown games. That's going to happen. But Kenny G still eats every single game.
And Kenny G's the guy.
I love it, dude. Kenny G's such a great deep route runner. And who throws a better deep ball in the NFL than Matt Stafford right now? I love Matt Stafford's deep ball. And
I think Matt Stafford, and we talk a lot about Cam Newton for comeback player of the year. Matt Stafford makes a case.
I like that a lot. I like that take a lot.
I have Detroit as a playoff team. I have them sneaking as the 7th seed.
Really? Just the new playoff format?
Yeah, I like the new playoff format, but I think Detroit's going to surprise some people. My 2 surprise picks are Arizona and Detroit in the NFC.
So you think Minnesota's out and Green Bay's in?
I think Green Bay's in. I think Minnesota's right there. I think they get like the 8 seed. I think the NFC North is going to be crazy competitive. I think 11 games will win you the division. But I think everybody's going to be between 6 and 11 wins.
Yeah, Matthew P says. Well, he said above. He says he's effect ahead. That's his team name. He said, "What about my team, Strofe? You did promise you were going to rip apart Matthew's team here."
So let's see what he's got working for him here.
While he's looking in that one, I want to drop my favorite Detroit Lions stat, and that is
go ahead.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won an NFC North title more recently than the Detroit Lions have.
Love that.
Yeah, that's very true. When is the last time Detroit won it? Have they ever?
I don't think
I imagine they have.
I honestly don't know if they. Like, you look at that franchise, and
no,
God,
they're really bad.
Tough. And and I'll give them credit because they don't even like bitch about it either. Like us Cardinals fans, Phoenix fans, like we will go off about it all the time, and it's just like that Midwestern charm, I guess. They're just like, well,
apparently.
Here we go, because it's a brutal existence to be a Lions fan, but we don't lump them in with the other categories.
No.
Cardinals or Cubs or any of those disastrous franchises. Yeah, Detroit's right there. But you think they're making
I needed yes, I do, but I need to do a TMI moment real quick at 3:38.
Oh, do it.
I have the world's smallest bladder, and this.
Oh, dude, I'm with you there too.
So I'm gonna let you two talk pretty for about.
And then you'll tear up Matthew P's team.
And then I'll get to effect ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to send you that Andy Dalton shirt. So.
Did he ever answer if it's Cowboys or Bengals?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, when we get that answer, I will send him my address. I will.
Yeah, take your time, bro.
Drop off that Bud Light Lime.
Yeah, recycle that thing.
Need to grab my refill.
Yeah, there you go.
Big Trav, who's the other guy competing in Washington outside of AP?
Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, outside of a Gibson. The other guy who could be competing for those touches.
You got Gibson, you've got AP, and then also Bryce Love got cleared in the last week.
Right, and he didn't play last year. They liked him coming in. Right?
And he had a stint with Stanford where he was considered one of the better running backs in the league, and it even was in a Heisman hopeful at one time with Stanford. So I like Bryce Love. I picked him up in our Dynasty League, subsequently dropped him after he never got cleared last year, but he did get cleared this year. We asked Evan Silva in the first hour about Bryce Love, and the thing is he's just a complete wild card. You just don't know with him. So I really liked what Evan was able to say. Like, you just don't know. But like Gibson and like what the coaching staff has said about Gibson in that manner. But AP, man, if AP gets the volume, like, are you really going to be doubted? Are you really going to be surprised if he gets 1,200 yards because they just gave him all those touches?
No, and it's probably not going to be a lot of heavy running going on from Washington anyway.
No.
So, like, I think they're going to be a fight. I think Ron Rivera is a big upgrade over Gruden. Never been a fan when he's at the full helm of it. That dude likes to on a raw
likes
take.
To party.
I think the guy likes to do drugs and just like enjoy the privilege that being a Gruden comes. I think he likes the nightlife. I think he likes the females. I think that he likes Schmaine, and I think that he's got a little bit of a reckless attitude about it. So now Ron Rivera is a huge upgrade, but it's still not a very desirable situation over there. You got Kyle Allen or Dwayne Haskins, who can, I think, best case scenario, it's a middle of the road, looking better next season kind of route. And Terry McLaurin, love that man, love him on my dynasty team. But it's still lacking enough options and weapons to really damage over there. So I don't think that the starting running back is, it's no CEH or anything. Yeah. But
like where you're taking them, there's a lot of that built in right down here, right? So like you're taking these guys in the 9th, 10th round that you're going to try and for that upside.
Yeah.
And like, look, they're not going to win you the league here, but you're going to get some usable weeks, and especially bye weeks, injuries, COVID season.
Right.
You want to try and diversify all that you can in some of these other backfields because you just don't know. Like, we talk about how that room's crowded right now, but a spell of COVID could mean maybe 2 of those guys get on the list.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's a much more clearer path. So I had initially come into the offseason talking to you about handcuffs and how I thought maybe this year was the year for the handcuff strategy to kind of come through, but I actually am even leaning more heavily on non-handcuffs now.
Tell me
because I just really think, and we've talked about the case for handcuffs is when you know who the handcuff's going to be.
But yeah, my preference with handcuffing, I'm a big handcuffing fan for those out there. I, though, don't always like my handcuff. Like, for instance, if I got Saquon Barkley, I'm not chomping at the bit to grab whoever that is going to actually end up backing him. But if it's a situation, say, like Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard.
Right, that one makes
Zeke
sense.
Is the number one.
Dalvin Cook, Madison.
Yes,
yeah.
even Hunter
Chubb
Henry
and Hunt.
Well, Chubb and Hunt is
that
actually
one's
the different one.
That's a different one.
That's the different one because Hunt has standalone value.
Yeah.
And Pollard, not Reichwell Armstead, but the guy they just drafted out of Tennessee, the rookie that they got there, who's backing up Hunter Henry right now. That escapes me in this present moment. But when you got a guy who's a good running back, but is not going to be better than the true stud ahead of him, that's the kind of handcuffing situation I like to get. But I think you were going to be talking about like the Kareem Hunt handcuffs, the Tariq Cohen handcuffs, the Duke Johnson handcuffs. Am I right?
No, not necessarily. Kareem Hunt is in a league of his own, I believe, as far as a guy I've been drafting a bunch of because of just the upside. I like Tariq Cohen. I like Duke Johnson just fine. They don't have the upside that Hunt has, and so I don't. Let me not pull a stroke here.
I'm going to reframe the question because I genuinely want to know this. This isn't even like filling airtime right now.
Yeah.
When the off season is what it's looking like right now, and we're not going to have preseason games. We're not going to be having the full programs that we typically do, and we're going to likely be having guys missing what is the protocol 3 weeks if you get hit with a positive COVID test, which people are definitely going to be doing that. They're going to be getting hit with these. It's going to happen. And so, Travis, with this new reality, what's your outlook on handcuffs coming into the 20?
Yeah, I just really think that it's more of the same. Diversify your backfield with guys that have big upside, your running back stable, and then also just be ready to adapt more often. I think really what we're going to see this year is not so much the handcuffs themselves, but the waiver wire is going to be so key this year because you're just going to need to be on alerts and on your game of adding guys because guys get on the list like that. And they're just on the list. They're on the list for 3 weeks. I mean, we've talked about some crazy stuff. Bruce Arians is talking about taking his actual backup and not letting him go to the games. So have Tom Brady be backed up by the third stringer at the game so that his quarterback 2 doesn't actually get COVID at the game and then can't be the quarterback for his team.
Oh, wow.
So there's all these things that are going to be happening, and I think you just need to be ready to adapt to anything that happens and how teams are going to have this all going out and the logistics of it. But as Nate was saying it in so many hours ago, Dominate FF was saying he's excited about this opportunity as fantasy players. It's really going to give us an opportunity to kind of sharpen our iron as fantasy players, another new way to adapt, another new thing, a tool, a part of the game to kind of get the edge on your league mates.
Yeah, 100. All I was going to say is this COVID thing, and we've used the word too much this calendar year, but unprecedented, right?
Unparalleled, unprecedented. Yeah. Every email I have starts off with these.
Hope you're doing well during these unprecedented times.
You and your loved ones are safe and well. Yeah.
Yes. But I mean, seriously, we have no idea how it's going to affect a team, and I imagine every scenario will be different. So, Travis, you keep referencing, if it hits the running back room of Green Bay, that might wipe out 2 guys. Well, if it hits the locker room in Green Bay, it could knock out a safety, a running back, and a kicker.
Right.
We don't know who it's going to catch when.
Right.
But obviously, a positive test isn't going to shut down the league, and neither is 20 positive tests or maybe even 75 positive tests. Right. We don't think the NFL is going to stop. At least I don't.
And I think
no, go ahead, Austin, because I got to look at a pick here.
Yeah, while you're picking, I wanted to kind of bring up Travis's point that he brought up on Dominate, and Game Time had mentioned it on one of our mocks a week or 2 ago, and I thought it was a really astute one. And that is this situation we're dealing with in COVID and the new unexpected plays that are about to come in, and the inability to watch dudes in the preseason. They're not going to have these big splash plays that get a lot of attention.
Yeah, you get less of the hype trains building so much during this offseason because you're not seeing those plays.
Right, and so people who put in the work, people who study what offensive coordinators are about, people who study what you can expect to see, people who are looking and finding opportunities that aren't being broadcasted because a splashy play was made in the first quarter of a preseason game are actually going to be coming out way ahead. It kind of reminds me of back when I was waiting tables. This is going to be a little bit of a drawn-out metaphor, but it's 3:30 in the morning, and here we go. When I was waiting tables and I was the #1 waiter at the restaurant that I was working at, and just, racking up tips, slaying orders, doing all this stuff, I was a king on that point of sale system. And it was a complicated bullshit system. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't intuitive. It was complicated, all this kinds of stuff. But I had it down pat, and I never made a mistake, and it was just like flying through. And then we got an upgrade to the system, and it was intuitive, and it made sense, and it double-checked. And all of a sudden, nobody else was making mistakes. Everybody was putting in perfect order. Everybody was hitting it. And I was like, damn, I'm not special anymore. Everybody's doing this. So this situation with COVID now kind of puts it in that former position of, if you put in the work and you're willing to learn what you need to learn and not just have it be spoon-fed to you, you're going to have real opportunities you're looking at to get ahead of your league mates.
I like it. I like how it's a little bit of a microcosm of what's been going on this year too. If you think about it, like, not to get too philosophical here in the late hours, but if you look at like what's happened this year, and a lot of people feel like 2020 has been robbed of us, and like all these things that are happening. But then if you take it as this opportunity to kind of look within, take your personal inventory, and decide what you want to do with your life, I think it's the same thing in fantasy. Like, we're looking at a season where we're talking about like maybe having to extend rosters or do IR spots or whatever. But now you're getting to a point where you're like, well, actually, if that happens, cool. It's just another thing I got to learn to be better at. I got to try and like look within myself and see what is my league important to me? Hell yeah, it's important to me. So I'm going to keep playing. So I might as well just nut up and shut up and like get it done, dude. Like, what's the deal here? So that's kind of my take on it. But as I run off to the bathroom, Alex, you've got to rip into Matt P's team here if you can.
That's right.
Effect ahead, and obviously you'll go through a few more afterwards. But
as we wrap up, he's really calling for it. So I guess, what do we think Dalvin Cook's move is? Because he never got that contract. He showed up, I know that, but
he's gonna be like a Melvin Gordon situation. I think unless he even ends it earlier. I think you're.
Is he going to disappear again though? I mean, what do we think? It's too late to do that, right? I mean, but obviously he'll get fined like any other year. We know he still wants that contract. He was threatening to sit out. I still like Dalvin Cook, obviously high quality back, top 4 for a reason. The quarterbacks in the second round, Austin, is something I always struggle with, because the difference between quarterback 1 and quarterback 12 in a standard league, or excuse me, quarterback 2 to quarterback 12 last year, that's not counting Lamar Jackson, was only like 85 points last year. So, is there a higher value in doing something like I did and waiting for Dak Prescott, who was quarterback 2 or 3 in fantasy last year, in the 7th round, versus grabbing Mahomes in the 2nd round and missing out on a top receiver. So I mean, his lineup isn't that bad.
You need that quarterback to perform in the top 3. If you're getting a quarterback that early, you need them to be.
And Mahomes will, right?
Barring health, yeah.
So, barring health, of course, assuming we don't get a repeat of last year or a COVID case. We assume he'll be healthy and be a top, if not the top quarterback. I don't hate the backfield of Cook and Fournette. It's not my favorite on the board. I'll get to that when we're wrapped up here. Hilton and Juju Smith-Schuster, both okay. I mean, legitimately, you could make the case of T.Y. Hilton as a WR2, a good one. But, then I mean, I'm not crazy about the rest of it. Gronk, I'm really interested to see what he'll do. There's no guarantee what Gronk will do. We know he's still in good shape, but he's a year out of football, more so than.
And on that
we'll
one,
see
really
what
quick,
he does in Tampa Bay.
I love the point Travis had brought up a little bit ago about the possibility of Gronk being used in the slot. He's trimmed down some weight, and bringing him into Bruce Arians' system in the slot could that all of a sudden you're getting a tight end designated guy who's essentially wide receiver.
And he's absolutely capable of dominating a role like that.
Right.
So,
like you
said,
knows.
It's Gronk. I mean, you can't. I can't shit on that pick. So, overall, pretty solid effect ahead. I thought I was going to rip you apart, but I think I like your lineup as good, if not better than mine. So, well done. That was underwhelming. I really thought I was going to rip it to him. I just don't have the energy to.
And he didn't give you anything that's standing out there too much.
No, not too much. Kerryon Johnson in the 7th, but you guys already talked about it. I don't know if you were a part of it, but DeAndre Swift and the Kerryon Johnson dynamic. I'm sure it's come up a few times. I know I saw it once in Detroit.
Yeah, we talked about that one a lot. I don't think you can really predict what's going to be coming in Patricia's squad. And just like we thought Kerryon Johnson was going to be this hot rookie coming in and dominating touches, LeGarrette Blount was the man that they put in there. And I know everyone's thinking Swift is now going to be this guy coming in. But what if Kerryon Johnson ends up being that LeGarrette Blount of years past? And I know Johnny's looking at me and being like, he is not a 3-down back. He's not a plotter. He's not all this stuff. Kerryon Johnson's the worst running back since whatever. But it's
right.
I just don't think you can predict or really say with tremendous confidence, especially with Patricia ultimately calling the shots, that Kerryon Johnson is out of consideration. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, until I see it on the field, I'm not going to can't really buy it 100%. But I know in my mind that Swift should be the guy.
Sure.
The talent's there 100%, but I think that the opportunity, there's a huge question mark in the opportunity right off the bat, at least. Love him in Dynasty, though.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Detroit is such a complex situation, kind of all around, right? It depends a lot on the health of Stafford, of course, but if everything goes well, I still think there's a good value pick.
Why is Patricia's leash so long? Detroit. I just don't. I really don't get it.
I think it's ownership
because he worked for the Patriots.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, no knock on Matthew Stafford, but when they gave him that incredibly generous contract for a guy who, correct me if I'm wrong, has never won a playoff game and had Calvin Johnson for as many years as he did, I'm just like, this seems like a loyal organ.
Or just lazy.
Maybe
either or.
Yeah,
right?
like
it's easy to be loyal if you're lazy too, right?
I just do you just not want to do it? Like, you just not feel like going through the whole process? That
reminds me of that Mitch Hedberg joke when he's like, I write all of my jokes down, but if I don't have a pen near me, I just convince myself that whatever I thought of wasn't funny.
That's good.
So
Self-deprecation. The best.
Speaking of the Matt Stafford, Travi, did you like my quarterback stack here?
I do.
Speaking of
I would have been
late, but
I probably would have been okay with just
Jones,
Stafford, but I love Danny Jones to pair it.
You're a Danny Dimes guy. Huh?
Oh yeah, and fantasy for sure. I don't know if
fantasy value is higher than obviously your win value in real life.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know if he's going to be the long-term answer for them, but I like what I've seen so far, and I like the weapons around them, as well as what's going on with the defense, meaning that they're going to have to throw a whole lot more. So let me get my Mr. Alan Lazard sitting here. I'm going to scoop him up.
Yes, we like that in our
Packers. Yeah. Johnny K asking if the giveaway time, just about as soon as we hit to that 13-12, we'll do a giveaway, and then Strofe will go ahead and roll through his teams, give his his grades, who he likes.
Yeah.
And we'll move on to the next hour like we do. If you guys want in that giveaway, make sure you're subscribed and you type in TFW in the chat. And guys, we're trying to get over to 1,000 subscribers in this thing, and we're climbing away up. We're like 815, I think, right now. So guys, help us out and get over there, get subscribed, get us to 1,000 here, and type TFW right in the chat there.
Speaking of Allen Lazard right there, we haven't really gone off on him yet, and I just want to take a minute to share the highlights of Allen Lazard. We're talking about a guy right now who's going at the very end in these drafts, and I know that we're in a Matt LaFleur situation where we're not throwing the ball like we did with Mike McCarthy, but we're talking about Aaron Rodgers still. We know what they're capable of. If we have to throw, he's going to throw. They did not draft another wide receiver. Devin Funchess has opted out, and Rodgers has done nothing but speak positively about Allen Lazard. Allen Lazard is a 6'5" athletic man who went undrafted, but is tall, is fast, is young, and has earned the respect and trust of Aaron Rodgers. That's a player I'd like to have on my fantasy team.
Yeah, especially if you're getting him as late as Travi just did, Austin. 13-7, and obviously, as you mentioned, no kickers or defenses. So I mean, that's generally what that probably around 14 or 15 pick, and this is a 12-man league too. So, which I mean, general sizes, but there's leagues, 10-team leagues, obviously are pretty darn big too. So, yeah, he'll be there in 13 or 14. He's slotted in as WR2 for Green Bay right now behind Devontae Adams. We saw the season he had a year ago in the first season of the LaFlorian era, if you will.
I love that. The LaFlorian
So,
era.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think there's going to be some opportunities this year for. I've already mentioned Equanimous St. Brown. He was out all of last year, which was his sophomore year. Now coming back for his third year, and he'll have an increased role. But Lazard, I mean, that's a value pick that late for sure. That's a good steal there, Travi.
All right, well, we're going to run the giveaway here for the Kenny Galladay jersey. Let me show you before we do this drawing. Once more. Kenny Galladay signed jersey here. We were talking about Kenny G, Baby Tron, as he is affectionately called. Kenny Galladay, we are drawing right now. Put it in the draft. Jacob Bley. Jacob Bley with the win here.
There he is.
Jacob, rocking with us in the late night. You just
fan.
picked up Kenny G, baby. So
Nice.
DM us, of
Good
course,
job.
Jacob, and we'll get that address from you, Instagram or Twitter, and we'll send you that. Yeah, Jaws Whedon comes in here. Whoa, you guys are really still going. Yes, we are here.
Way to join up with us. We got another one of our mock drafters, Monday Night Mocks, coming in to the mock draft marathon. I wanted to give just a shout out to the ASMR Under the Cupboard. His earlier comment.
Yeah, he said, what the hell kind of channel is this? They're not even whispering.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. The ASMR. I love Johnny K's comment. He says ASMR with the whisper joke. Classic. Good.
That is good.
ASMR.
Yeah. He's liking it.
But now ASMR Under the Cupboard is totally with the giveaway.
Yeah,
Saying
yeah.
congrats to
Appreciate
Jacob.
that. Well, he entered in late there. So, all right. Moving on here.
So I want to ask Austin a question.
Yeah.
So you go wide receiver the first two rounds, Tyreek and then Julio. Obviously, I mean those are both booming picks. Two of the top four receivers. Go David Johnson, Mark Ingram. That's a good way to follow it up. I really like what you did here, pretty much all the way through. You mentioned your affection for Phillip Lindsay. You got him late 7. Antonio Gibson. So do we expect him to have probably the largest role of Washington running backs, right?
I do.
I mean, AP's, I mean, how old is he now? 34?
57.
57
Yeah.
In running back age. That'd be about right. Yeah, Austin, I'm a big fan of that team. What'd you do for quarterbacks against Stafford and Jones? That's right. I'm looking at my TV, so I don't. I guess I could just scroll through my laptop. So I gotta throw Austin a bone here. He's in my top 3. I said I was gonna rip Effect Ahead apart, but I really can't find anything I really want to pick on. I think that was thrown together well. Who did I like? The guy I didn't like last time. I got to look at that Cat's pajamas.
Said the Cat's pajamas.
The Cat's pajamas. DeAndre Swift and Kareem Hunt there back to back and 4 and 5. AJ Green falling all the way to the end of the 6th these days. How the years have changed, man.
Yeah, and I think it's really just about the feet injuries, and we just don't know what's going to happen here. The foot injuries.
I got to watch the replay of Austin crawling across from his screen to your screen.
Yeah. So we do it a little late.
You can't walk back there?
No, it's backed up against the wall.
Oh, okay.
So he could walk, like if I pulled my seat forward, but I was not going to be moving my seat at all.
Good thing he is as agile as they come.
Yeah, no, he really is.
Wow.
Well, and he's wearing the Kaepernick jersey too, so he just feels a little more froggy fresh there.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah, that's good.
Do you have any teams you hate here? You just do not like how they were put together? It might be time to throw in a little troll action here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of my toes here.
No, that's fine.
So
usually I think with my head, but toes is fine.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, did I say with my toes? Is that
on your toes? I don't know. Who knows?
Okay,
just never even heard.
Are you actually drinking coffee?
No, this is not coffee. I mean, yes, it's coffee.
What's in the coffee?
It's a White Claw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which I don't even know why I should just drink it out of the can if I'm going to tell you on air.
Is that not legal?
It's fine. You're good.
Okay, good. I guess I should have asked if I should put this in a container.
We're fine. We're all adults here.
I think so, right? Yeah. All right. So I want to pick on you and Bassam.
Oh, you don't? Okay, you don't like my team. Wow.
It's not that I don't like it. DK Metcalf as a wide receiver one, I don't like.
Hey, I didn't love that either, but
and yeah, your wide receiver core isn't great. I love Christian Kirk. I'm high on him. I think Arizona's offense is going to be a boom this year, man. I'm very high on them. Excuse me, you made up for it later though. Harry, Tate, and Lazard, your last three picks. So you made up for some wide receiver depth there. Eckler, I like. I think you got him in a good spot. Chubb, obviously, we know the production's high. What he did a year ago cannot be understated. Kittle in the third is a good grab, mid to late third, in fact. So that's solid. Yeah, good enough, right?
Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't love it, but yeah, okay. Talk about this team because Lamar Jackson in the second before Pat Mahomes here. Bassam really getting ballsy here.
I mean, is that not typical? Is Jackson typically not drafted first?
ADP has Mahomes going ahead, and that's really just because we saw Mahomes' floor, but only because Mahomes missed some time with that knee.
What did he miss? 4 games last year?
Yeah, I think it was like somewhere around there, 3 or 4 games.
I think he still ended up coming out as fantasy quarterback 10 or something.
Yeah, it was not bad, and I think he threw 36 touchdowns last year on that injury. It was ridiculous. I mean, he is ridiculous.
Yes, he's unbelievable. But Lamar in the second, sure. Mike Evans is a wide receiver one, sure. I'm high on Singletary, so I don't hate that pick in the fourth. But nothing crazy about this roster. Jackson and Rodgers, a great quarterback lineup. Darius Geis, was this auto drafted for the most part?
Yeah, it must be at this point if he's taking the second quarterback, but I don't know. He's not. His button is not live in here, so it doesn't show that he's in the draft.
Yeah, but and 2 tight ends as well, Darren Waller and Hunter Henry, and Darius Geis was drafted in the 11th. So that is the worst team, I think, probably
known to man.
Quick tour, known to man. Yeah,
really quick. Adios, Cat's pajamas. He's
going
dipping out for us. Going home for the night. We'll see you soon.
All right, so that wraps up this one. We'll go ahead and do you have any leaders right now in the clubhouse? So if we're giving you that ultimate power of picking one of our Whisper Nation Listener League members, anybody leading in the clubhouse, or are you just going to keep that silent and kind of make a final decision?
I mean, I guess I don't know who's already in. So where's Jacob? Is it Bley or Bley?
Jacob Bley is already in.
He's already in. Yep. Okay. What about Rock Lee?
No Rock Lee yet. Rock Lee is not in.
Rock Lee.
Okay.
He or she is tagging me directly, so I appreciate the interaction. I'm gonna unban Matthew P. I think the door's still open for him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna rescind my prior disdain for him, if you will.
Yeah.
And we're gonna open the door back up for Matthew P. He's still not. I mean, not 1 foot in by any means, but he's still alive. The Cat's pajamas. What about him or her? How we doing with
Cat's pajamas? Name? Cat's pajamas is not in. I don't believe the Whisper.
That's good to know. Which one are we going next? Are we the?
We're doing a 12-man.
We're doing the super flex.
We're doing a 12-man. Yeah, half-point PPR super flex. I got to get this link over to Austin.
It's already full. Look at that.
In it? Yes. Cat's pajamas is in, so he can't win it again.
Okay. Figure out the technical stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is all
work through it.
Listen, if you guys also want to get in, ASMR, we're going to tweet the link out, but we already did for this one. But if you're around in the next hour when we start the 3 a.m., we'll tweet that out around 10 minutes. Sorry, geez. 10 minutes before the top of the hour. We'll tweet that out on Twitter, so follow us there at TF Whispers. Also, if you don't win Strofe's spot, we've got 2 more spots in the Listener League that you can win. And the way you do that is you go follow Sleeper on Twitter, Sleeper HQ, and then you take a screenshot of that follow and you tag at TF Whispers. The Fantasy Whispers that's us.
So are you big timing on me now? Are you partnered with Sleeper?
So we pitched Sleeper. I don't know if we want to get into this right now, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We pitched Sleeper on trying to come on as a partner because we exclusively mock with Sleeper in this thing, and so we talked to them. But they are giving away 5 sets of 100 cookies. So we got to give a big ups. They like what we're doing here. They're giving away 100 cookies, and it's not cookies like you think, Strofe. I saw those ears perk up.
Oh, I've seen it on.
Okay.
That's in. Yeah.
But
I have 40 cookies.
They're giving away those 5 sets of 100 cookies, non-edible cookies. You're in. Perfect.
That was disappointing.
Not yet.
I did.
Yeah, go for it.
My 4 a.m. brain was thinking real cookies.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Trust me, I could use them right now.
Good.
But either way, we're hoping to. We're hoping to keep this rocking and rolling with them. We do our mock draft Mondays with Sleeper. We do this.
I knew that.
We love Sleeper, so we're all about them, and we love the platform. And I know it's got its glitches from time to time, but we really love the format a lot. So
I like the way it's presented. I mean, I've only used it when I draft with you guys, but I've always enjoyed it.
And look, I know we got worried.
4th overall. Wow.
Super flex league. So you're drafting. Yeah, you're drafting the 2 quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. Yeah.
Jacob
So
Bley.
They are higher valued in super.
Yeah,
flex.
it kind of puts that value because that market gets saturated.
Right.
But yeah, so we got the 2 quarterback league.
So you're going to want, I mean, 24 quarterbacks at least are going to go, aren't they?
Yeah, at least 2 quarterbacks each, sometimes 3 in these super flex. You just want to make sure. And in COVID, I could see a situation where you're drafting.
You're going to need 3.
Yeah.
And there's only what? There's probably.
When I thought about that in like a regular league where you would only draft 1 quarterback, you may want to take a backup this year.
I think
quarterback.
You have to.
Yeah, I think.
And I'll be safer because, like I said earlier, I never typically draft a backup tight end because I usually wait for tight ends. But this year I probably won't wait.
Well, Strofe, you don't get to wait anymore because you're on the clock right now.
I
am.
7th pick in a super flex. Remember, everybody, it's a super flex. Know the rules of your draft before you draft.
Thank you. Yes, I figured it out right before I drafted. That's good.
Right on. I have missed it a couple this month. So I'm gonna do something kind of crazy here. I've been doing quarterbacks super late on all of these ones, and you can get a lot of really good ones. Get your Cams and your Bakers, your Daniel Jones and your Matt Staffords.
Yep.
When you say on these ones, do you mean on the super flex leagues?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Because I've been kind of on the same boat, but I did one in this one, and in this one I did, and in this one in the mock draft marathon we've had a couple super flex, and I think I was like you, where like I'm gonna try it, see what it's like to draft a little quarterback early. I mean, Jacob Bley, the 4 spot, is like, let me get Mahomes real.
I'm going to go different on this one. I've been going late, but I'm going to try Lamar Jackson. I like that point that was brought up earlier about 6-point, 4-point touchdown passes, and I think Lamar Jackson has such upside coming in right here. Him and Kyler Murray really are the only guys for me. And Lamar Jackson's just done it. They're going to be built. I know there's some regression there. Fine, happy take.
Joe, if I haven't seen you draft Derrick Henry tonight, talk to us a little bit about Derrick Henry and what you're feeling there. This is that half-point PPR, so you still feel okay. It's not that full-point PPR. You still feel okay taking Derrick Henry. I mean, the guy's a beast.
Guy's a beast. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, Travis. Guy's a stud. We saw it on full display, national display last year more than we ever have in his career. But I mean, every year, no matter if it's 0 PPR or half-point or full-point PPR, you're bound to get a 30-point game or 2 or 3 from him because the guy just likes to go bananas here and there. And if not, he's still in a suitable RB1 every day of the week. So can't go wrong. I took him over Cook just because of the aforementioned and pre-existing contractual dispute with Minnesota. But and I guess I have a little more hatred for the Vikings than I do the Titans as a Packers fan. But
I understand that.
But I mean, in all seriousness, I just you can't go wrong with Derrick Henry, can you? I mean, he's a top 5, top 6 back, no doubt.
I think I also like about Derrick Henry that a lot of folks mention, and one of the reasons why I took him in Dynasty last year was one of those guys to me is seen right, wrong, or indifferent, and now it's been justified because wrong year he had. But before that, it's like this is a guy who was getting so much attention, really physical size. And Travis, before he broke out, talked a lot about do we over evaluate size and players, 2 major physical metrics that we just so hung up on. And I think that Derrick Henry, right, wrong, or indifferent, is a guy who's always going to be in your mind because you're always hoping you're out there bulldozing people. So he's a special type of player who holds extra value. Keep pressing to try to get the most out of him because they do see him as somebody who's different than the pack there.
Yeah, I like that. You know, you actually did a Wisp perspective on that whole concept of like valuing the size and speed of these players, and I think running back is probably the place where it's the most, you know, hyped up or underhyped or overhyped is in sizes and speed, because you really do want wide receivers to kind of have that size and speed. There is this point where it makes a difference a lot, but look, Derrick Henry's a beast. I love it here. I love what you did there. I don't mind it in the half-point PPR at all. I will say he does have this thing where he's got to score. The weeks he doesn't score, I believe, if he hasn't scored a touchdown, he has not finished higher than an RB2 on the week. So he does kind of depend on the touchdowns, but I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's a terrible dependency to have in that offense when he's going to be the guy, the hammer. So
his floor is still higher than most ceiling. So, you know, you can't really go wrong.
So I want to bring up this question here. Matthew P. asked, and I want to pitch it to you guys while I step off camera for just a second. So why is Godwin's ADP higher than Mike Evans? And this is a question that we've been kind of trying to ask people in that Tampa Bay offense. What's the deal here? Who are you taking? And why do you think Evans is falling behind Godwin? Is it just the age thing? Is it the slot situation? What are you guys' thoughts?
Those are the 2 things I was going to bring up, but go ahead, Austin.
No. Please take it away.
Let me draft a quarterback, and then I'm going to go Watson just because they're flying off the board, and I like his dual threat ability. But anyway, Godwin we were talking about, right?
And Mike Evans, yeah.
Yes. So, I think the age thing and the slot thing were the 2 things I was going to bring up. We know Brady likes his slot targets, and obviously this is a new offensive fit for him, so we can't expect a duplication from his prior 2 decades in New England. But I love the age thing with Godwin, as mentioned. What is he, like 24, if that? 24. We saw a bunch of breakout moments from him a year ago. The ceiling was already projected high. You add the GOAT in that offense. I don't think it's a no-brainer. I think it's still a pretty decent toss-up. That offense has the opportunity to be explosive. It just, if everything pans out, is this an overhype on Godwin? Maybe. Are we jumping the gun? Maybe. But I think this is fair. I mean, 211 isn't a reach by any means for Godwin. At least I don't think.
No, I've been talking a lot about this ever since we've been mock drafting with. And to me, this is one of those 1-2 situations like Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs from a couple of years ago of who's the real number 1. And the question here is, why is Godwin's 80 higher than Evans's? And I think the simple answer, take even Brady and the preference slot, quick answer is because Godwin balled out last year. He finished better than Mike. But to me, I'm comfortable taking whoever that number 2 is, because you mentioned Godwin's age at 24. Mike Evans is only 26, and he's never had under 1,000 yards. And
is he really that young?
Yeah, he just balled out every single time he's ever had an opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
And while we've seen Brady really have a love affection with Edelman and in the slot, I'd like to say he's really not had too many great outside wide receivers outside of Randy Moss. And he went crazy with Randy Moss. And we know that this arm is going to fall off at some point, but it didn't last year. Johnny's been bringing up this how well Brady's deep ball was last year anyways. And so with Mike Evans' talent and skill set, and he didn't have a bad year either, I'm very comfortable grabbing whichever guy falls to the second spot. Evans grabbing him, and I'm more than.
All right, Strofe, in this super flex 12-team half PPR, I would imagine this is not usually within your wheelhouse.
It's not. I think we did one of these last year as well, though. We
Yeah.
did something similar to this.
So I just wanted to talk. You're through 3 picks here: Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Deshaun Watson. How are you feeling so far with the way that the draft's kind of gone and how it's coming to you?
You know, so as you mentioned, it's not typically in my wheelhouse. So I'm kind of basing my picks off of what's around me. I saw the quarterback starting to go, so that would have been 5 off the board. I wanted Kyler Murray, but Gotti, I think is how you say the guy before me. He snagged him, so I went with the last dual threat. I think you had just stepped off when I picked him, or we're just about to. I mentioned with Deshaun Watson, I like the dual threat ability. You know, that offense still runs through him. We know the guy is crazy talented and absolutely belongs in that conversation of top 5 fantasy quarterbacks. So I'm good with him as my first QB. Devontae Adams, I mean, we've talked enough about the Packers. We know how I feel about him.
Have we talked too much? I don't know if we've talked enough. We could keep going.
We could talk Packers for the next hour 40. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And we already talked on Derrick Henry. So I'm feeling good where I'm at right now. It's just a matter of where I want to go here. I mean, the options are David Montgomery, Chicago, Ingram, Gurley, or Le'Veon. You know, Le'Veon is probably where I'm going to go. I've got 25 seconds to think this over, mull it over a little bit. But if he's healthy, I think he's capable of you know, bouncing back and still proving he's a top 10, even top 5 back, and he'll probably be the focal point. Maybe not
8 seconds, Strofe.
It's not letting me draft.
Oh, there we go. Oh, we got
it. Didn't go. But you know, he'll probably still be the focal point. I don't think the offense necessarily runs through him by any means, but he'll get the opportunity to shine in New York yet, and in year 2 there. So I'm good with that with pick 4. I'm okay with where I'm sitting right now. I like my team.
I like it. You ended up going with Le'Veon Bell there, who I think is a volume play, being slept on a little bit.
Travis, I want to bring it over talking about the team here, man. You're going with that 3 elite strategy.
Yeah, I went Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. We talked about Kenny Golladay. Look, I kind of wanted to take a QB here, but I wasn't going to just let the draft force me into taking one just because that was hot. It looks like I'm going to be shaking up to either do a middle back-to-back or like an end back-to-back or a middle end QB. We'll just figure out how this plays out. I'm not going to sacrifice some of the value that I'm seeing in this league because not only is it that super flex, but it's that 12-team half PPR, so you can try and get your advantages in other spots too.
Yeah, but don't you think, especially, I mean, it's a mock, so all we're going to do is judge it now and probably never revisit it.
Yeah.
So don't you think that how many people are watching you do this right now? 31 people on YouTube, plus me and Austin and Johnny and Chelsea and everybody there. So about 35 people are watching you. Don't you think the quarterbacks that you draft will dictate how we view your draft, right?
Yeah, and probably if you respect me as a human being or not will come into play there based on...
Well, I will not share my answer, but that's fair.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a QB yet. I just don't.
Still not even with this 5th round pick.
Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to.
We had a fun time in a couple mocks ago of doing a super flex, and I committed at the beginning to not taking a quarterback until the double-digit rounds, and I was pretty happy with the outcome. I ended up going picks 10 and 11 at that turn and grabbing Cam Newton and Baker Mayfield, and not drafting until the double-digit rounds.
Right.
I'm feeling pretty good about the upside on that.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So half the teams don't have a quarterback yet. Jacob already has 2.
See, by you're speaking it into the universe here. You just keep bringing it up, and now you're just letting everybody know to take these quarterbacks.
Yeah, so now they're flying 2 in a row there. I'm not going quarterback. I can tell you that much.
Oh, look at him
getting
getting ballsy.
I think is this a 3 wide receiver? Hold on.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So I'll probably go that direction again. I've already got 2 backs. I don't know. I'll probably I got to think about this. I like Indy this year. And I've mentioned that a few times, but yeah, I'm going to go T.Y. Hilton. I like Indy. I mean, Phillip Rivers, yes, he's old, but he's still capable of leading an offense, right? I've talked about Jonathan Taylor plugging in there. The Colts think so.
Yeah.
And it's a prove-it deal, too. It's a 1-year deal. So I think he'll go in there and lead the charge well. Could be a maybe not a revitalization by any means, but another big year for T.Y. Hilton.
This is definitely going to be the best offensive line that Phillip Rivers has ever played behind.
No doubt about it.
I mean, he is always
06 Chargers, right, when LT led the league in rushing and scored more touchdowns than the Raiders as a team. I think that was 06. What year did LT win the MVP? 05, 06?
I think you might be right there. Yeah, I think it's in that
one
range.
Of those two. But yeah, I don't know why I remembered that he had more touchdowns than the Raiders, but weird memory. Do you guys remember that?
I don't. That's a nugget.
I don't know, but yeah, crazy amount of touchdowns. Is that the same year he was the only guy to catch, throw, and receive a touchdown?
Yes. Was that the year he won MVP? I'd assume so. But anyway, yes, it'll be his best offensive line at least since that. But that might speak more about LT than his O-line. But that O-line solid, that defense is definitely good enough. I think Indy's got a real shot to win that division. Is that insane?
No, I don't mind that take. Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible. I think we've talked about this.
I like that. Hold on, so he's sharing a screen. It said what year did, and the other options were what year did somebody die? It said what year did Jesus die?
Yeah.
What year did the Titanic sink? I don't know what else was
those
on there.
predetermined.
But it was awarded on 07, so that was 06. I was right. So 06 would have been.
Yeah.
So it's been 14 years since. I mean, we could say he's had a competent O-line.
Yeah, at least. And how much of that was LT? And I just think
it says more about LT than the O-line.
I just think we've seen Phillip Rivers be banged up before because of that line and play injured. He's been a great starter. Don't get me wrong.
He's a tough guy.
He's a super tough guy, but this is going to be the best offensive line. So if you're talking about what I was trying to get out of here is if you're talking about trying to ease an old man into an offense, like this is the line to put him behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and I love T.Y. Hilton there. So I think people are sleeping on him. The offensive coordinators come out and said, look, this is who the offense runs through still to this day, and that's T.Y. Hilton. So
and my favorite thing to bring up about T.Y. Hilton was during Andrew Luck's retirement press conference, he went and spent a good amount of time talking about all of the guys that he had played with on the Colts and spent some time giving them really honest take on them. And T.Y. Hilton's floored me. He said T.Y. Hilton is the best football player I've ever played.
Damn.
And he has played with a ton of talented players back over Stanford and then in Indianapolis. Call T.Y. Hilton the best football player he's ever played with. And he said it with confidence, and no one else was in that sentence. Was like, wow, this guy is better than I had really thought. I had been shortchanging T.Y. Hilton's abilities, but not anymore after that. It's real.
Love it, love it, love it, Johnny Austin.
Yeah.
So you're rocking here, Lamar Jackson. Said you were going to do something you haven't done before. Early QB in this super flex league. Julio Jones, Mike Evans, like that stack there of talented wide receivers. Then David Johnson, Devin Singletary. Are you a little nervous about this running back core so far, or you kind of you like where you got these guys? You like them?
No, I'm happy with what shook out. You
Okay.
know, you're not taking a running back until the 4th round. You know you're not going to get any studs. But David Johnson could be full bell cow back, catching passes, playing the goal line on a very productive offense. There's risk baked into there. We know he's coming off a new season. It's a new team, all that stuff. But the possibility for David Johnson to be a ton of volume, getting catches, very efficient with them, is decent. And Singletary is going to be leading the way, at least started off. And this was, the way I saw it, the last running back who was kind of guaranteed to be getting that volume. And you know me, I'm going to be aiming for Zach Moss somewhere down there, not reaching for him, but maybe just a little bit to make sure I've got the backfield in Buffalo locked up. And then I've got 2 good backfields. I've got Houston's and I've got Buffalo's, and I can only start 2 running backs anyways, so I'm feeling good about that going along with Julio Jones, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, and Lamar Jackson. So it's not my running back's not my strength, but I don't think it's a major weakness.
I like the breakdown. The logic checks out there. I think you'll be setting yourself up in these later rounds to see if you can get some depth there too for those guys.
Some dart throw guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll just kind of see how that shakes out for you.
Matthew P says David Johnson. Lamar Miller. I remember when Johnny took Lamar Miller 5th overall a few years back, and that was obviously a disappointment. But it was still a volume back, still getting the touches, still a guy who you're very happy to start. Just isn't breaking feeling as much as you might have hoped when you drafted him, but a guy you're still happy to play. And that's kind of like how Lamar was disappointing. But
I just got to say with this chat, first of all, we're rocking with 30 viewers in the chat. So thank you, Whisper Nation. Huge ups to that. But also, everybody keeps checking in when they're going to bed, and I love it, man. It's just awesome. Like Troy coming in here. All right, I'm going to bed. Good luck, guys. It's just like that send-off that we're rocking. We're walking. And we're going to go to bed and see on the other side. We had Saturday morning snap. They were with us in the Saturday portion of this. It's now Sunday. They came in. They're on the East Coast. They're saying good morning. What's going on? I just love this, man. People coming back in, checking in on us. We're just this one continuous stream for them, but it's just kind of surreal, man.
It's showing the real community, and it just reminds me of the retreat that we had in March of 2019 when we got together with you, me, Johnny, Chelsea, Hannon, Credit, Brett Johnson.
Yeah.
And we had this really great retreat and broke the whole Fantasy Whisper down. We had white page all over the place. We were doing value exercises to find what was at the core of the Fantasy Whisper. Why are we putting in all of this blood, sweat, and tears? Why are we up right now at 2:30 in the morning doing this?
4:30 in the morning for our boy Alex.
4:30 in the morning for our boy Alex. And, and when we broke it all the way down, I kept saying, why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? We got it to the core of wanted to create where people felt like they belonged. And that's what fantasy football to us was. And that's what our league record is. Why is the draft day the best day? Mock draft or draft a random league any point in time. It's the best day of the year, though, when you're with your league mates because it's a bond you all share. Come together. You can just be yourself. You can have so much fun with it. And it's such a release and a connection at the same time. And we wanted to kind of bottle that energy and bond and share it with the folks. And to see people at 2:30 or 4:30 or 5:30 if you're on the East Coast being a part of this, saying goodnight, saying good morning, coming back in is exactly what we were and connection. And yeah, we're gonna banter with each other back and forth, but that's all just part of the fun with it. We're all a big happy family.
Love it. That was a great spiel. You're such an inspirational human being, Austin.
He is. That he is, man.
Just tired, right?
Yeah. Just great, but really great to be around. Like both of you are saving me. I'll just say right now, in these twilight hours, because it gets tough. You talk about the same guys over and over. But what I've liked about this year, a lot of contrarian takes, a lot of new takes coming in. So we've been able to spice it up, and we've had some great conversations from rock and roll bands to what your favorite cookies are, favorite desserts, things of that nature. Had a few people drop out of this draft. Understandable.
I see that.
Yeah. Wish they would have.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Look, we're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. That hurts so bad.
Yeah.
It hurts worse than you being mad, I think. Right?
Just hit me. Get it over with. Let's move on.
Yeah. But anyways, it's been a joy to do this thing with you guys, and Grove, man, you're the real MVP here, rocking us through these 4 grueling hours.
You guys are too kind to me. You give me 4 hours to bug you. It's it's fun for me. But no, you guys are doing really cool stuff, and always appreciate you letting me join you for a few hours. It's always good to catch up with you guys. And we talked last summer that I would be in LA. Obviously that can't happen, given
All
the
things
pandemic.
considered, yeah.
But someday it will happen. I promise.
Oh yeah, and you were
come drink White Claws with you.
Yeah, for sure, by the pool. Look, I think that's we're still getting some votes for the cookies, so we'll ask you, Strofe. We got best cookies are still white chocolate macadamia nut.
He agrees with my dad.
What
are you thinking here?
Like, my favorite cookie is ultimately, I'm sorry, I'm going to give you the most boring answer. It's chocolate chip. I love chocolate chip.
Hey,
cookies.
There's nothing fresh baked chocolate chip, and my dad has a recipe. If he knew I was giving this away right now, this is going to be a little bit of.
Are you going to do a recipe drop?
I'm just saying we substitute some of the sugar in a chocolate chip cookie recipe for vanilla instant pudding.
Oh.
And what that does is it keeps the cookie softer longer. And so it's kind of soft and chewy, and it stays moist throughout the length of the cookie. So I don't know, it's just really good.
We talked about dads. We talked about white chocolate chip macadamia nut cookies and chocolate chip. Is this the time to share the story at 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah, it might be.
All right, so we're coming to the end of this. We're 8th round here. I just got to share this story because my dad was in here checking out the draft, and Travis asked the question about what's your favorite cookie. He said white chocolate chip macadamia nut. Austin's got a story for that one. Here's this story. It takes about 3 and a half. So a couple of years back.
I'm glad you got it timed.
I got it timed. Yep. So a couple of years back, Chelsea and I are visiting home from Flagstaff, Arizona, where we were in school and where we were living at the time. And we come home, and it's a Friday afternoon. We go to Paradise Bakery, where Johnny once worked, and we package up. We buy a couple of the cookies that just so damn dank. A white chocolate chip, macadamia chocolate chip. And we brought it home, and we put it in the fridge to keep. The night progresses. We have dinner. It's all well and good with my dad, who then is going to depart for the evening. He says, "Love you, kids. I'll see you later." We said, "Great." Go ahead. After he's left, it's like, all right, now it's time to enjoy these cookies. And we had our whole routine. We were going to get the Netflix show ready. We were going to get the bong loaded. And we were going to get the cookies heated up in the microwave. And we were all ready for the amazing, indulgent experience. I go to the fridge, and I open it up, and I start digging through looking. Can't find them. I knew where I put them. They were there.
Uh-oh.
So I start then tearing things apart like there's a fire, and I'm trying to find the extinguisher. Where's
Okay, so you hit the bong before you went to the fridge.
No, not even yet. No, not even yet for this one.
I don't believe you. But
So I'm going, and I'm looking for it, and we're trying to find this, and Chelsea's like, "Where are the cookies? You sound like these strung out crackheads right now." And I'm like, I don't know. They're not here. And she's like, "Well, they've got to be here somewhere." And I just stop, and he took them. And she's like, "What?
Who took
Your dad?" No. And I was like, "Yeah." She's like,
man.
"He volunteers. He's a good guy. Like, what are you talking about?"
They're like questioning his fiber.
No,
the fiber of his being.
And he never eats treats or anything like this. But I know him, and I'm like, "Oh man, that guy went up and straight up swooped the cookies. He just had this moment of weakness, and he took them."
Moment of weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah. This doesn't define him. It's just a moment of
He
weakness.
just took it. He took it off.
It doesn't define him.
No.
Define him.
And she says, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And I say, let's pause for a second. I say, "Change the Netflix password." Says, "What?"
Oh.
"I'm going to change the Netflix password, and then I'm going to wait." And it's important to know that him and Julie, his partner, they were in the middle of Breaking Bad for the first time. They were in season 3, right when it's really starting to heat up.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. They're watching. This is their jam, right? And I go ahead and I change the Netflix password. They were using my account. And she's like, "How do you know he's going to call?" And I was like,
He'll
"He'll call." Fast forward to Sunday morning, prime, enjoy the day time. And all of a sudden we're sitting there. It's like 9:45 a.m. My phone rings and it says "Pops." And I'm like, I say, "Hey, Dad." And he's like, "Hey, Julie and I we're in season 3 of Breaking Bad right now. Gus is just popping off. And we got a security issue warning that popped up on the screen. It's like, password didn't work to security, something like that." And I go, "Oh yeah, there was a security issue." I remember that. And he's like, "Okay, do you know the password?" I was like, "Yeah." think I know the password. And he's like, okay, great. And keep in mind, my dad is 68 years old. He's not the most tech literate person. And he is going to be entering in this password now on his TV with a remote control, right? So it's the D-pad. Scroll. And he's like, okay, what's the password? I was like, okay, let me try to remember it, Pops. All right, you got the screen open? Yeah. All right, try chocolate chip. Chocolate chip? Yeah, CHOCOLATECHIP. He goes ahead and typed that whole thing, and he's like, no, it didn't work. I was like, capitalize it. Like the whole thing? I was like, yeah, delete the whole thing, capitalize the whole thing. Okay, no. Capitalize the whole thing. No, it didn't work. Ah, shoot.
And they're putting, is it like a Roku?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the hard, you're typing in like the one entry, like one letter at a time.
One at a time.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even see. You can like walk up to the screen and put on his glass, all this kind of stuff. And so then I go ahead and it's like, oh, that didn't work. I think I know what it was. Try white chocolate macadamia nut. He's like, white chocolate? I was like, yeah, white chocolate macadamia nut. WHITECOCOCOLATEMACADAMIANUT. White chocolate chip. White chocolate macadamia nut. Types in that whole freaking thing. Didn't work. Ah, shoot. Capitalize it. Deletes the whole thing.
Capitalize it.
Deletes the whole thing. Types the whole thing in. And then he says, no, it didn't work. And I was like, oh, damn, hold on. Let me think about it. Okay. Dad, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I know what the password actually is. And he's like, you do? I was like, yeah, I do. And this was the actual password. This was the actual password. And I spell it out for him. I say, WHYWLDAMANSTEALANOOTHES. Types it all in and he goes, why would a man steal another man's cookies? And I say, I don't know, Pops. You tell me.
Dude, do not steal Austin's cookies.
And he just laughed
fantastic.
and laughed. He just laughed. And that was the actual password. And then they got to watch season 3 of Breaking
Phenomenal
Bad.
story.
Here's the deal. First of all, phenomenal story. Delivery on point. You're spelling at this hour.
Yeah,
on
that
point.
was
Like
the
that may be the most
part.
impressive part of the whole story. But I love it here because your dad just loved it. He was just rolling laughing with it.
Yeah. Well, he got. He knew, because it was so methodical. He called me like 4 or 5 days later. Whatever it was, I guess it was Thursday. So it was like 3 days later.
And the bottom line is, like, look at how many comments we got earlier on cookies. People love their cookies, and don't mess with Austin's cookies, man.
Travis knows this.
Yeah,
too.
we don't need to get into the stealing Austin's desserts because it's not a.
So
almost ended a friendship.
I want to bring up one real quick note because a little connection here. So you mentioned Flagstaff. You must have went to Northern Arizona, I assume.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
So the voicemail I left for the Listeners League was sent from a hotel room in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Oh, which one?
Okay.
It was a Hilton, whatever. I don't know. They have so many, don't they? I don't even remember what kind of Hilton.
All right.
Hilton Home. Is there a Hilton Home in Flagstaff? No, because that was Hilton. It might have just been a normal Hilton Inn or something. I don't know. But where did we go that night? Because a couple of weeks ago, I was driving. My buddy is moving out to Carlsbad, California. So we, which is just outside of San Diego, and we stayed in Flagstaff one night.
How'd that move go? I know you were messaging me about that whole deal.
It was an experience.
Yeah.
Especially in the midst of a pandemic.
Round trip. What was that? How long was that?
So I flew back.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, obviously they stayed out there. So hold on, I'm gonna go Emmanuel Sanders here.
I like that.
We talked about him earlier. So I mean, on the way there, we stopped 3 nights. The first night we were in. So I mean, Wisconsin got way down. We went the southern route because there was a U-Haul involved. So we stayed in Springfield, Missouri the first night, then Amarillo, Texas, then Flagstaff, and then we got to Carlsbad on Friday. We left Tuesday. It was a pain in the ass, but I mean, got to see some things. As I got into California, this would have been in Music Festival.
Coachella.
Thank you, Coachella, California.
Indio.
Coachella, California. There was just the side of a highway on fire because that's how warm it gets there. Apparently, never seen that before. So that was new.
Never seen a fire before, Strofe?
I've seen a fire, of course.
There's not a whole hillside on fire. You ever been to California, baby?
Yeah, we
No, I
got
haven't,
sharks and earthquakes and forest fires and
High
Yeah,
taxes, and we just let it go, baby. Woo.
Yeah,
What do you think of?
unbelievable.
What do you think of?
Unbelievable price of living. Yeah, go ahead.
I saw a
100%.
funny thing, a funny meme the other day that was like, "Oh, just so you know, I'm not broke. I'm just California blue. So like, it's okay,
Yeah.
but you know." What do you think of Flagstaff, though? I mean, it's
So I was there a night. I'm trying to remember what the hell we did that night. That was the first time I had Raisin Cane's. Is that the name of the chicken
yeah.
tender place?
Raising Cane's is good, man.
Whoa,
Raising
that
Cane's is good.
sauce-
Oh my god, it's crack
That
sauce,
sauce is yeah,
bro.
it's better than Chick-fil-A sauce. I'll go to war on that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there.
First time I ever had that, and it blew me away. Really, really good. What else did I do? I went to.
you know, a
What the
sauce
hell
is
is the-
good when they just say this sauce is good. I'd go to war over it.
I know,
It's like, no
dude.
one's,
Yeah,
no one's
I go to
asking,
war.
bro.
That
Like,
was
no, we can enjoy
yeah.
it, man.
No, yeah, we don't need to like go to war or anything.
I feel you.
Well, you
Cane's
call
is
it
great.
crack sauce. I figured I'd double down. Is that actually? That's not actually the name of it. I assume.
No, but it should be. I mean, I feel like I'm addicted to it every time I eat it.
It was that good.
Yeah, it's so
it was
good.
that good. I went to I went to a liquor store, but I can't remember what it was called. What would be a liquor store chain in Flagstaff, Austin?
Oh my goodness, that Conoco is where we would. just
Yeah,
hit
we
up
went to
over
gas
stuff,
stations
but
for booze. I think
Okay.
even
I
to
went
fill our the kegs, we did that like
a
Chevron.
little bit
or
of
whatever.
Wisconsin vibe. You know, I always thought kind of Flagstaff a little.
Yeah, like heavy
Yeah, and-
drinking.
Exactly. That's what I was green
Well, I kept to the
stuff.
hotel room, but
Yeah.
Fifth most amount of snowfall in the
Yeah,
country.
Johnny K coming in here. Canes is legitimately amazing, and we agree. Canes is so good,
Yeah.
dude.
That's not credit,
super
is
good.
it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Is that credit? Is that
Yeah.
Credit? What's up, credit man?
Credit works on our spreadsheets. He crunches numbers, writes for us. We love credit, man.
Credit's like the only
Hey,
person
Credit.
I credit out.
I think
person
he
in my
likes it
life
that
that
way.
I know he does.
Yeah.
I know he likes not being able to be tagged.
It was a mobile for the kegs. Thank you, Matthew P. So we have to reveal something. Matthew P has been calling you out a little bit, Strofe, but he actually is in our league of record. Went to NAU with us.
Oh, that's your
friend of-
boy.
yeah, it's a big friend of ours. So
That's popping.
yeah.
Nice.
Hey, poppin'.
Oh.
What's up, baby?
But
How was
I
the
love
gym?
yeah, it was mobile for the kegs. I thought it was Chevron, but he's right there.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring it back to the fantasy draft here because
Yeah, we
Travis,
probably should. We've talked about nothing fantasy related
hey,
for
but it's all
about
about the
Sometimes we
community.
just gotta talk about nothing.
Yeah.
It's the whole community. That's what we're really here
Yeah.
for. We're in it. And Travis, we talked at the beginning of this of the last Superflex draft you and Johnny did a couple weeks ago, and with my goal of not taking any QB until the double-digit rounds, I was able to come out of there with Cam Newton and Baker Mayfield. This is not the same draft that it was then because I took my second quarterback there in the 10th round. I liked Evan Silva's recommendation. Well, actually, I didn't understand Evan Silva's recommendation. I don't get it, but I respect Evan Silva. So I said,
Yeah,
what the
I've
hell?
taken him just because of that too. I've taken Garoppolo where I wouldn't have taken him, but it is the opening schedule I believe Silva was talking about,
Yeah,
and just being able to crush in the opening like four weeks of the
I'll take
season.
it.
Yeah,
So I didn't hear Silva's spiel, but I'll say this much. I remember a year ago when we were doing this, guys, and I was sold on Garoppolo. Right? I thought it's my pick, isn't it? Hold on,
3
Chase
seconds.
Edmonds, come to daddy. come to
Okay,
daddy.
all right,
Okay.
at the buzzer.
Yeah, at the buzzer, indeed. So Garoppolo, I mean, right? He was, or maybe this was even 2 years ago now, but I guess it would have been last year. We were really high on Garoppolo, right?
Yeah, at least as a late round guy, you could see
No,
yourself.
because
It
2
was
years ago
2 years
was the ACL, right? 2 years ago was the ACL.
Mm-hmm.
So he was out a majority of the season, if not all of it. And then last year, obviously, we thought, would be the year he'd blow up. He was going high. And they still obviously made the Super Bowl. Great team. But his numbers weren't that great.
No, for
What do we
fantasy,
expect? Right. They weren't that great fantasy-wise.
no,
right?
no,
I
and
mean, he
that's the
wasn't-
thing. It's like Sorry, I have been
like an
eating
Aaron
some
Rodgers
snacks. It's
situation,
getting in the
which
back
is
of my throat here.
never had to be.
Yeah, that's the thing, is this offense doesn't require Garoppolo to put up numbers. Like, they just are so excuse me, they're so efficient in so many other ways. But yeah, we'll see if that defense is as good. They've lost a couple pieces. I still think they'll be really good.
So
but
you
as
want my hot
dominant.
take?
Yeah, go for it.
I mentioned I have Arizona and Detroit getting in. I'm following the trend of NFC team makes the Super Bowl, doesn't make the playoffs. I don't think San Francisco makes it this year.
I can see that.
I
can
think
see it. Well, especially in that
dramatically
division. That division,
that
you could
division's
see.
the best in football. It's the best in
Did
football.
Silva say that Garoppolo was his dark horse MVP?
I think he went that
He
far.
did say that.
He was all about it because then Johnny was like, "Oh, that's disgusting," and you're like, "But he's so handsome."
Yeah, no,
He is so handsome.
Yeah, that's true. But you don't win the MVP off of being handsome. Dark horse MVP, man, I just kind of let that one go. But that one's, I'd like to hear more. Maybe he's got it on the podcast, but yeah, I don't mind that take.
No.
I don't mind that take that you're saying, Strofe here, with them missing, just because first of all the NFC is so good, that division's so good, and you're talking about that trend of losing the Super Bowl and then just having that hangover. Are we going to be surprised if Garoppolo kind of needs to do it for this team and then isn't able to? I don't think we'd be surprised if that was.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. 3 years ago, maybe, when, we thought he was the next Brady, he was getting that big praise after sitting behind him for whatever it was, 2 years. But now, because look, I mean, as you mentioned, last year, he didn't have to do it. He wasn't the guy they needed to rely on. So, no, I mean, we wouldn't be surprised if it came to a situation where he's looked toward and he pulls a Trubisky or something. So, and I'm not comparing Garoppolo to Trubisky by any means, but
I think there could be some exposure ahead.
It definitely is a possibility.
There has to be, right? Because you have to be, and not that they were by any means, and I don't know if they will be this year, but you can't be transparent. You have to do new things. And, the team in the NFC with the target on their back is San Francisco going into 2020. So
I want to, we're talking about these dark horse. I want to throw out a name that we haven't actually brought up in this whole time, actually.
Yeah.
And this is a deep dive down there, but this truly could, there is a pretty clear path, in my opinion, to this being a dominant steal of a pick, and that's Damian Harris out of New England. And here's the pathway forward, and I'm interested to hear about Travis' take on this one. I know he's been close as well as with Alex's. But the way I look at Damian Harris right now is we've got in New England a likely going to be a run-heavy team. We know they like to lead by defense, unless they're going that 5D chess route by losing for Trevor Lawrence. But presuming that's not the case, and let's say everything here is in good faith, Sony Michel, in my opinion, is not a very good running, very injured, hasn't performed well. Damian Harris was drafted relatively early by the Patriots. They obviously see something in, basically redshirted the entire year. James White's going to keep his role doing what he's doing. Rex Burkhead is a jag to me. He listens to the shows up on time. And Sony Michel was drafted to be somebody I just don't believe that he is. Damian Harris hasn't gotten a shot. If Damian Harris comes out, gets an opportunity, is the guy, and gets that early down work, he's going to remind me of a Stephen Ridley from years back, who I only remember because I drafted him in the 12th round of our very first draft 9 or 10 years ago. And he ended up being a close to RB1 because hard to figure out which guy is going to lead the show in New England, but if you can get it, whether it be Stephen Ridley or LeGarrette Blount, you're going to be in a really good situation. And haven't really been speaking a lot about Damian Harris, but I think the pathway is real. Could be.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I think people want to talk about how they don't want to invest in the New England backfield because it gets so messy. I think you actually have to go against the grain here and take one or two pieces of this backfield because I think it's going to be valuable. And I think Damian Harris is the right one to take in that situation just because Sony Michel is injury prone, like you said. And then Damian Harris was a very productive college running back that people liked and coming out of college. And I think he can catch the ball. He can. And so like he could project to be that all around guy.
Yeah, I think that offense is going to be trying a lot of new things this year, and but one thing that isn't new for New England is using more than one running back consistently. So we'll see what kind of role Damian Harris picks up in year two. You mentioned what he was able to do in college, and obviously what we'll be able to see from him. He's what, I mean, it says 23 as you have it popped up. Um, so plenty of time to develop, and yeah, he'll see an increased role for sure. Um, but it's a value pick, right? I mean, worst case, you cut him in week 4 if he's not seeing any time. So
Yeah, kind of one of those guys you're excited to have because it's a really good piece to have, or it's not.
Right.
So you get him in a late position, and you cut him if you don't, and love him if. Mike Williams, God, his ADP is so freaking low.
It's all over the place though too. Like some drafts I see him, he's like going ahead.
He's like a guy I need to highlight on my board when I'm drafting for real.
Well, especially when you got the ADPs up. And I imagine so many people will be doing the online drafts this year as opposed to in person like we like to do. So I think it's important to kind of highlight these guys, make yourself your own board, and kind of get something going there.
Yeah, Mike Williams, though, to me is another dark horse. We know the physical stature of Mike Williams is very impressive. Talking about a tight end, wide receiver's body, 25 years old, 6 foot pounds, coming into his 4th year. Had Phillip Rivers as his quarterback, who's absolutely loved Keenan Allen, which we all understand. But Tyrod Taylor coming in, who has maybe more of a propensity to throw the ball deeper and doesn't have his favorite target yet established. So I think you can make a very good case that Mike Williams has a very decent shot of winning Tyrod Taylor over. And then Mike Williams becomes the number 1 over there in Los Angeles, and you're getting this guy crazy late. And he's got, I mean, what did Tyrod Taylor just say? When you throw Mike Williams 50-50 ball, it's actually a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And that bodes well for his upside there.
The upside. But as you mentioned, his ADP is all over the place. From at least what we've seen the last 3 drafts.
And even further down the line, like I've taken him way earlier than the 12th. Yeah. And I've been taking him a lot more. Yeah, it's been nice.
That was essentially the 13th, right?
Yeah.
So.
Is anyone shocked if Mike Williams ends up being better than Brandon Cooks?
No, not at all.
No.
Oh, and I'm sitting here, and I took Brandon Cooks in the 8th, and I don't even hate it.
So on the Damian Harris topic, Snap came in with some talk here. And N'Keal Harry got more carries in 7 weeks than Harris did the whole year. He was readily available. That is true.
Mm-hmm. Why did Harris not?
Look, the Sony Michel playing a full year. I think that's the bottom line. Is really why Harris didn't get the work, and now we're talking about, Sony Michel starting on the pup. So yeah, I don't think it's back here like the 12th, 13th round to take Damian Harris for that upside. I love it.
Wanted him in Dynasty, taking him like a 2nd round. Rock Lee is asking for Strofe to let the viewers know what his favorite teams are in this mock.
But unfortunately, Strofe is in the bathroom. So right now he won't be able to give us those takes, but as soon as he gets back, we will definitely have him give those takes because we want him to go through who's going on, what's going on here.
I just want to say I freaking love the fact that it's 2:55 a.m. on the Pacific time, and little introvert drafted at the 10th spot, took it all the way down to 10 seconds, and then made their selection.
Yeah,
which means they're looking. They're focused. They're trying to make the best.
Not just
team
here, but here and present.
They're present, right? Present. I think that is really.
Yeah.
It just goes to show what happens. Bring a bunch of people together. I love fantasy football. I love talking about it.
Strofe is back with us and ready to kind of rip through his favorite teams here.
Yeah. Well, once this concludes, I can refer to the TV because it pops up better on there than it does my laptop. I will try to take a peek as we wrap up here. Where are we at? 2 picks left.
Yep, that's
the quarterback. So as I mentioned, way earlier, obviously the quarterbacks will kind of dictate this. I'm curious to say. I mean, they kind of went all over the place. I mean, this auto draft team there's two auto draft teams, excuse me.
And they're kind of half auto draft, right? Because they definitely did.
They were both going early.
Yeah, they were going
by
early.
But I mean, like those open slots. I don't know if there was everybody. There was somebody in them in the beginning, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they.
So I mean, both of those teams aren't great, and I'm not going to rip them apart too much. Here we go. It's big on my TV now. So Austin, let's see what you did. You got Julio again. You've been tied to him the last 2 hours. Mike Evans, and we talked enough about Tampa Bay. David Johnson again for you. You mentioned you were a big fan of, or is he walking away now?
Yeah, well, we got him in the restroom here.
Oh, gotcha. But Terry McLaurin,
yeah,
I know he mentioned he liked him a lot. Travi, what'd you do at the one spot? McCaffrey, obviously. Kittle, Galladay. So yeah, what did we call that at the beginning? The big guys,
the three elites.
Bigs.
Yeah,
3 elites. That's what we call them. I like that Bridgewater pick as QB too.
Yeah, I don't love it, but Johnny's kind of been talking to me about it in super flex leagues, taking Bridgewater as your second quarterback. So I don't hate it. I think there'll be some volume there. We saw it last year. They had to throw a lot last year, so I think it could be there.
I mean, that's quarterback, and this is quick math. That's quarterback like 17 as well. So
yeah, I really like what I was able to get around him by not taking a quarterback. Like I like the upside, especially in a half-point PPR. But
to be honest with you, I think he's going to be better. At least fantasy points per game wise, better than Goff, better than Garoppolo. I think you could probably make the case for Roethlisberger. Although Carolina is seen as a bottom feeder this year, I still think they're capable of winning 6 games.
Well, they're the ultimate part too with Joe Brady, like calling plays now. Like it's just kind of like what's going to happen. I mean, we saw what LSU was capable of doing, like maybe the best college offense we've ever seen. Ever. And so we're talking about that coming to the NFL, and I'm not saying it's going to make a huge difference. Like we always see this could go either way. But it could take the league by storm, and we could see a situation. I don't think it's too far-fetched.
No, I don't think it is either, and I like that pick for value. And you mentioned, you were able to stock up. James White, we love his. This is a half PPR, so we love his ability in that New England backfield. Especially that tandem with Cam Newton, I think he's got the opportunity to thrive. But as we talked about a little bit earlier, with the New England backfield, you're going to see a lot of pieces work their way in there. But James White still, I mean, always been a value pick ever since he should have won Super Bowl MVP a few years back. Yeah. Always been a big value pick. So that's great. That Houston offense is what I keep referring to, Travi. Will Fuller. We have no idea what that offense is going to look like. There will be production to be had for Will Fuller, of course, as there is every year.
He's just got to stay healthy.
Exactly, and that's been his problem. But as long as he does, obviously, like I said, the production will be there. So good squads for both you and Austin. To look at some of the other ones, effect ahead. What's his name again? Something P. Matthew P. Is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's Eddie P.
So you're friends with Matthew Perry. That's Rodgers, Gronkowski, who he took last draft as well. I'm not crazy about Leonard Fournette. I'm scared of his health, and that shows why he hasn't consistently been a first-round pick the last 2 years, whereas, he probably should be if he could stay healthy consistently. This one's tough because, as I said, the quarterbacks will dictate. But you can get value kind of all over the board. I mean, Prodigal showed it. Drew Lock, who I'm really high on, Jared Goff, and Matthew Stafford. That's a good trio for going as late. I mean, the last pick of the 7th is where Prodigal began the quarterback drafting. So this is all over the place. Like I said at the top, Superflex not necessarily in my wheelhouse, but there's not a horrible team that was actually drafted in this draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of did their own way of maneuvering this. I think think I did like. I think I like your take there. There are a lot of good teams out here. We've got the new link. Go for it.
Yeah, my last note is like a little introvert, I think is how you say that. The trio, thank you for going back. Wentz, Tannehill, and Burrow. Not crazy about that from a fantasy aspect, but otherwise really good pieces throughout the rest of that team. All right, yeah, let's go on to the next one, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
And
so
a quick shout out to John Credit. Great to have you here, brother. Hailings.
All right, so Strofe coming into this final hour.
Oh man, I got to make my pick, don't I? Soon. Well, not now, but no.
No, yeah, but just be taking those notes. We've been keeping strong on who you like. As far as you get this magical power to bestow one Whisper Nation Listener League member to face you, and the rest of us.
To get beat by me, but yeah. we can be less.
Look, Johnny needed to take a nap just so he could come on and talk a little smack with you in this final hour, and he's coming in now.
So he did nap.
Yeah, I don't know if he napped. He laid down. Yeah.
I'll ask him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take off here, but the new link is up on Twitter. Make sure everybody's getting over there. You guys can win. The last jersey we're giving away is the Alvin Kamara jersey tomorrow in the final hour. And the way you win that is being subscribed to the YouTube channel and typing in TFW within the chat. That gets you entered in for that raffle there. So make sure you guys are doing that. And then, of course, if you guys want to get in the Whisper Nation Listener League, make sure we're active in the chat here and giving Strofe a hard time about his picks. That'll always get you going. That'll get you on the radar a little bit there.
It's always worked. Shout out to Jeffrey. Jeffrey was Brown.
Yeah.
A year later.
Yeah. All right, Strofe. I'm gonna take off here and let Johnny come in. Johnny and Austin are gonna rock this last hour with you. They're just doing some do-si-do here. All right.
Don't fall asleep.
I won't, brother. I'm gonna go probably jump in the pool.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna switch over seats in a second.
Sounds good. I guess I'll just sit here awkwardly. So who's in the chat? Give us some hellos. Give us some TFWs. Who's still kicking it with us? The live stream is going till 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 2 p.m. Eastern. I think that's right. I won't be here, but I think that's right. I'm speaking on their behalf because I'm the only one with headphones on. As they climb, ultimate warrior. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah,
back in co-pilot seat. Hold on, I gotta get my headphones on.
You can't hear me.
If Strofe's trying to scream at me right now, I can't hear him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how I should do the whole show.
Yeah, that might work out better for you.
I don't know. I gotta turn my hat around, dude.
Matthew
it's game
P
time,
says
dude.
TFW should be
You already
awake.
know it's game time, so.
It's game time because game time's here, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, we need a. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, realistically, how bad is your record going to be in the Listeners League this year?
It's not going to be bad at all, dude. Listen. There's no preseason. So you guys won't get to see a lot of what I'm saying. A lot of people don't believe what I'm saying. I seem to have contrarian takes, and so a lot of people are doubting that. And then unfortunately, it's going to be too late.
But Johnny, do people typically believe what you say, even if there is a preseason?
I mean, I gotta believe. Yeah, they do actually. Whisper Nation does a good job. Whisper Nation, hey, they know their boy. They hang with me. They have my back.
So since Travi's gone, let me ask you, who's right more? Is it you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like far and away?
I wouldn't. No, not. Here's what I would say. I think there are positions that we both have strengths. Like yeah. I'm really good at projecting tight ends, and like rookies I'm pretty good at. Where Travis is like defenses, just like he knows how to do that. Quarterbacks he's really good at. And so yeah, we kind of just work together and we kind of work through this, and it's fun. Like we see a bunch of people's different viewpoints and listen to that, and you be like water. We keep saying it throughout this program, and we continue because we have a bunch of people on, and they give us a side that maybe we haven't heard before. And all right, I gotta get in this room. It's this one, right?
12 team
half PPR. All right, we got
Alex Stroh.
We got 3 spots left. We tweeted out the link, correct? Awesome.
We did.
Awesome.
It is 6 a.m. on the East Coast, for the record.
Rise and shine. We are starting. There we go. So we've got our 25 viewers right now who are still in there here with us. If any of y'all would like to jump in, we got 3 spots, 7, 8, and 9 picks available. We'd love to have you join us. If you'd just like to watch, a bunch of voyeurs over there, more power to you. But we've got 3 more spots left if anybody wants to jump in. Now, a 26 viewers. Someone decided to get on board. There we go.
Hey, welcome in.
I agree.
Hey, I gotta say, that while I was resting my eyes, the story about the cookies was one of the funniest things I've ever experienced in my life, and I don't know if that's because I'm like starting to get sleep deprived, but it seemed like it that was pretty funny. Am I right?
That one, yeah.
That's a great story.
Like that is, and knowing like I have known Austin over half my life. To say he's like a brother to me is an understatement, and that is just the most Austin way to get back at someone. Like that just sums it up. That is like perfect.
Revenge is.
I've known Austin for 2 years. and that just sounds like an Austin Sears story.
Yeah, because he's definitely gonna let you know about it for sure.
The creativity that went into that, knowing it would work, is
yeah,
like
absolutely the most egotistical /
I believe in justice, but I don't believe in rage. So revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But cookies are not.
That was phenomenally executed. Also true.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
What do you think, man? Are we gonna get? I know we got Whisper Nation. We're gonna get this started in just a minute, then.
Yeah. Well, if we can try to fill this really quick, then we will do so.
Yeah.
We will wait. Let's wait till 3:10 a.m. Pacific time.
We'll get us 2 minutes. In that 2 minutes, I just were talking about the cookies with it. And I am a very, most of the time, even-keeled human being, but I do have a propensity for sweets. That's going to share the other one with, you heard me call King Crumbly Thief, the infamous perpetrator of the Boston Cream Massacre of 2012.
What was happening?
That was my birthday, 2012. Travis and I are in Flagstaff, the city we talked about earlier. And I bring home for my birthday a dozen donuts, and I say, these are for everybody, but please don't touch the Boston Creams because saving those, please don't do that. And I come back 3 hours later, and what, of course, is not there? The Boston Cream donuts. And Travis is over there. He's finishing them up, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? He's like, well, I thought that it was, it was like 3 hours ago. I thought you had what you wanted. And I was like, it was the only thing. It was the only thing I asked was to leave the Boston Cream donuts. And you heard me say this, and there's so many other good donuts. Why would you do this? And he's like, I'm sorry. I got a little upset with it. And Nick Thomas, who is in our league of record, was our roommate at the time. And he comes downstairs and he was like, it's all done. And he was like, Austin, were you joking right now, or were you seriously mad? I was like, I was seriously mad. He's like, I've never heard you like that. And I've known Nick Thomas for 15 years as well. He's like, I've never heard you that mad before. And so it's my sweets, and there it is. And okay, we all got our buttons. Pimpin' Ain't Easy in our mock draft? Is he in here? I love having him in the chat. He's always coming in here sharing good stuff.
Let's get him in. We tweet out the link. Rock Lee so graciously gave out our Twitter. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Rock Lee.
Yeah, Rock Lee. This dude's rocking with us. That's why his name is Rock Lee, because he rocks.
He's got one last mock in him, too.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You know what's been cool in these late night drafts is these are some serious players coming to it. And you think about it, you're like, oh, who's going to be taking it seriously? You know who's going to be taking it seriously? Someone who's actually drafting at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. You're not going to get any casual.
No, Sunday now.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
whatever country it is. And then so you're not going to have any casual drafters who are being a part of this one. So it's 3:11. We've hit our mark.
All right.
Let's get it started. Let's fire this bad boy up.
Fire it up.
12-team half-point PPR. Johnny, 3 wide receivers.
I got it.
Brent Bundridge.
Oh,
we'll wait
where's
for
the
Brent
link?
Bundridge.
All right,
There's
we'll
the
wait.
link.
We will wait. You got in. It's just we tweeted it out on our Twitter at TF Whispers.
Can we drop the link in the YouTube chat?
I already did.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, look at that. Boom.
Boom.
That's why I'm here, boys.
Tough acting to acting right there.
Tough acting. The John Madden line.
Yeah.
Tough acting to acting. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, typically the guy who scores more fantasy points is the guy who will win the week.
John, this team scored more points this week, so they won the game. Back to you, John. Booger gone this year? Is Booger still on the Monday night?
No, they're both gone.
No, he's been gone.
They're both gone.
All
Oh,
gone.
goodness.
They made
Thank
a great
goodness.
choice. Though. They went Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and I forgot the third member. They're going back to the 3-man booth like they had with Gruden, Tirico, and who was the third there? Mortensen.
Oh, yeah.
So drop the link in the chat.
I'll do it again.
I don't know if it's coming up. It's kind of weird. I don't see it.
I've posted it twice now.
I think it's no. Because you're posting it in the chat of the sleeper room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We need to do it here.
Oh shit, dude, it's so late, man. There's so many different links. Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
We gotta post the link to this room.
Yeah.
Is it just this link up at the top?
On YouTube. Yeah.
Well, I've posted it twice in there. Is it not showing up?
Did it? It should. There. I think there.
Alex Richardson.
What's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Good to see you here. Booger
It's my
is
boy.
gone, says ASMIR under the cupboard. Thank goodness. Bassam Static is going to squeeze one in before bed.
Okay, so should we start?
Better than squeezing one out on the draft.
All right. Let's All right, we are going to start this. Let's start.
Yeah, let's get it
Begin.
going.
Begin.
Oh, we got another person who joined. Let's do it.
All right.
I'm going to
beginning.
prematurely bum you out. This will be my last one. I'm crashing.
All right.
So let's make it a good one. I got to draft my best team yet.
Man, and just want to, while Strofe is getting it going right now, just want to give a really heartfelt shout out to everybody in here who's drafting with us and everybody who is watching the live stream, the 28 folks around the world checking in, a part of Whisper Nation. It is, I mean, if it's late, we're emotionally fragile, it's all of these things, but it's just such an incredible thing right now to have all of these folks active, having such a great time. I mean, from this morning with Evan Silva and Adam Rank, and it was like just a couple of years ago, Johnny's like, man, I really want to do this. Johnny, are you happy now with this 3 years? Like what this moment is right here? This is so cool.
This is amazing. It's just, yeah, it's still, I'm like trying to take it all in while staying up 24 hours, and it's starting to get a little tough, but it's keeping me going at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I went and took Alvin Kamara here. I don't think I've ever taken it. I've never taken Alvin Kamara in a really, but I do not mock him. I'm trying to break out of. Is that audio good there?
Yeah, I would just put it down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Alvin Kamara, you take there, first time ever, but you were talking him up just a couple of mock drafts ago when I was with you.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara. Yeah, well, I mean, the stats on him are real. And it's a new era of fantasy football where we get that a pass attempt is worth more than a carry. I'm sure that Johnny or Trav have the hard analytics on that of how much an average carry versus an average pass is worth. But it's just now happening at such a high level. A guy who you can pretty much expect to get around 100 targets thrown his way by Drew Brees. And he also still does get a lot of that work on the ground as well. So Alvin Kamara, it's a new era in football. He's this wide receiver, running back, hybrid. Scat back isn't appropriate to call him. Just him and Austin Eckler are real deals as far as I'm concerned. At least that kind of role is a real role now in fantasy football.
Now we talked about the contract year earlier, Austin, but I imagine, the production, maybe not the production, but the results more so will go up.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be an extra added chip on his shoulder. Say there isn't a contract in place with New Orleans during the season. And I imagine there probably won't be. COVID obviously not helping that. But do we think Kamara just goes bananas all year long? Because I think there's a very realistic possibility of that. I mean, how old is he? What, like 24, 25?
He is in his prime right now. He is 25 years old. I think they've managed his workload for his body size and everything. And the dude is no slouch either. I mean, he's coming in at 5'10", 215 pounds. This is a guy, at least at this listed weight, is bigger than Christian McCaffrey, who's at 5'11", 205. So it's not an undersized guy. He plays in such a slippery fashion and does what he does. And Peyton's been really good about managing that workload to not break him down. So he was hurt last year. He's healthy now. I think that Alvin Kamara's got a real shot, in especially any PPR format, to be a legitimate number 1 overall running back.
No, I agree with you 100%. All right, let's look. I hate going quarterbacks early, but that's what they have projected. I just don't know. And I reached for Jacobs in the first round. I went for him at.
Hey, it's okay. We say it here on the show. Reach for your guy.
No, and I agree. That's. And I love that you did that. I think I'm going to make this a draft of doing that.
Hey, well, it's okay, because I wouldn't care if you didn't like it, because
take your guy, Whisper Nation.
Yeah.
Don't think that there's any taboos going on. I mean, we saw earlier today Evan Silva at our 10 a.m. draft when he was drafting at the 1 spot in a 12-teamer, and at the 2-3 turn, he stacked up a couple of tight ends in a 1 tight end league with Kittle and Kelsey.
And I actually love that.
Interesting take, right?
Yeah.
That cracked some new pathways in my mind on what you could do there. I would have to crunch the numbers a little bit to see what kind of flex production you'd expect on a floor year from one of those 2 tight ends. Is it really going to be better than a wide receiver you could plug in there? Because ultimately it'd have to be better than a wide receiver or another flex option. But if the tiers in my mind are so clear, at least with those top 2 guys, if you get them, like, it's an interesting strategy. I'm looking forward to crunching some numbers on that.
Is.
Yeah.
I wonder what Whisper Nation thinks about that, of going a double tight end, elite. If you took a Kelsey and a Kittle, or maybe squeezed out and put an Ertz in there as well.
Yeah, one of those top 3 guys. Get your pick in quick.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Well, there we go, Patrick Mahomes. So
I do want to.
Could have gone worse.
Sorry, Whisper Nation. I'll just run in my mouth. Yeah, it could be worse, right?
So, Sear, and I'm blanking on the segment name, but I want to call it 2-minute drill. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, it is. It might be the 2-minute fire drill. Well, but yeah, the 2-minute drill.
What are the odds you have the cards with you tonight?
Oh my goodness, 0. I don't have the cards with me on tonight, but they know exactly where they are, and I'm looking forward to busting those ones out. You like?
I was just hoping for a live version of that before I depart.
Oh man, I'll get a special one for you next time. I'll dedicate the first one that I get going. I was kind of thinking actually about pulling together maybe if we don't end up having a season, or even if we do, of maybe finding another way to take that kind of format and share some news, and just take this weird ability of being able to speak really fast and enunciate most of the words. And
well, that's what the crazy thing is like I don't speed that up.
No.
Like that is legit Austin speaking at that speed.
And I've asked him before, how many takes does that typically take you? I don't remember your answer, so I'm going to ask it again, but I know I've asked you that in the past.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad you did ask that, because
Is it 1 million or is it like 3?
Well, it depends. And it actually changed. I like the fact that we talked with you earlier about how you practiced, and how, from your broadcasting coach, and, taking the work that you're doing here really seriously. And with that, the things that we've done, I always try to get better every day with what we're doing and try to modify the approaches with it. And after, when I would start the 2-minute drill, sometimes it took me, goddamn, dude, like hours. Like sometimes it took me like 2 hours to get like one to get it going. And it would be so many times where you get it all the way down to the last team, and then you just, you flub the words at the very end, and it's just like throw all the cards in the air and like, all right, let me get them again. And
I get reorder
like,
them, yeah.
Try it again, right? Yeah.
Screw it. We'll do it live.
I would just go. And, you look down, all of a sudden it's been 45 minutes. After, it reminded me of like a video game when you're playing a video game and you're trying to get through the level, and you're like, unless I do it perfect, I'm just going to start, reset.
Right.
But at the end of it, it got so clean by just changing the way I prepared. And preparation is kind of the theme of these mock drafts, so it feels appropriate there. And the preparation changed the entire game on the 2-minute drills. And just what I would do is map out the general plan the night before, speak it slowly the night before, record it, listen to it once, and then just go to bed. And when I did that at the end, the next morning, I got in under 3 tries.
Really?
Yeah, because you'd be able to say what your mind could be 3 sentences ahead of the current one that you're on versus trying to create that one and then still be ahead of where it was. So if I kind of had this general plan in place, I could get it in like no time. I just needed to sleep on it. So
was your order always the same of teams? Because it usually changes, right?
Yeah, I would just go by whatever order they were playing.
Okay.
So Thursday game, morning
Thursday night.
games,
That's right.
afternoon,
That's right. It's been so long since I've seen one. My memory's not super fresh at 5:30 a.m.
But and that's we met on the first takes, and that's where like these 2-minute videos kind of got started, and seeing that you could just prepare a little differently. How can you make them a little better, a little sharper, a little bit more delivered, a little bit better, and you just keep trying to improve. I think that's the motto for life. It's the motto for broadcasting, the motto for content creation. Just try to get better every day.
Absolutely. Yeah, making the process effective and not only effective but fun to listen to or watch or whatever it might be. So yeah, I mean there's definitely a process there, but that's one of the unique things that you guys pump out and you in particular, Austin, pump out is just that weird skill. So is there any auctioneering in your future?
It's definitely on the table. We'll see how the auction rooms open up in the during COVID, post-COVID world there. But
that's fair.
I should start submitting those videos to some auction houses, and maybe I should learn some of their skills. That's crazy. Those guys are nuts.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
So I totally shit on DK Metcalf earlier, but I'm gonna reach here for him because the ceiling is still appealing by all means.
Ceiling is appealing. I like that.
I didn't rhyme on purpose. That's just vocab 101.
It's that broadcast coaching just comes on out.
Yeah.
What we are here in a 12-team half-point PPR. We saw Johnny. You started off with Sanders, and then nice stack there with Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, and then David Johnson been the talk of the night.
He has been the talk of the night.
Yeah, I wonder how it's going in other draft spaces too. I wonder if we're going to see that ADP creep up and up. I wouldn't be surprised.
Because everyone on here is bashing him. And he's getting a bad rap.
He's bashing the fit. I mean, I've always been high on David Johnson. I just don't like the fit.
How do you not like the fit when it's the zone blocking scheme that he ran in Arizona under BA when he broke out? And and this line is better than that line in 2016.
But David Johnson, okay, right? We saw his ceiling. We saw probably the best year we'll see in his career, right? The injuries have been plaguing him the last 2 years.
I don't think he could be the overall RB1.
Right. And what is he looking like? I mean, his ADP for running backs is this is a rough guess. I guess it probably says if I click on his name, right? Number 37 RB, is that right?
Or is that where he finished?
No. Last year he finished. Oh well, yeah. But if you take the first 6 weeks when he was a starter, and we were giving him carries, he was a top 7 running back.
But he absolutely has the skill ability too. But do you think Bill O'Brien has the ability to make a running back shine? Because
Carlos Hyde, I would definitely argue that David Johnson is way better than Carlos Hyde.
I would too, but Carlos Hyde was what, like a top 15 back, maybe?
He was like running back 22 on the year.
I'll tell
22.
you.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
the RB2, sure.
But here's the thing. I just said he's better than Carlos Hyde, and here's the other thing. Carlos Hyde couldn't catch. David Johnson is one of the best running backs that can catch out of the backfield.
Didn't he win like AP receiver?
Wide
Yes.
receiver of the year. Yep,
Yeah.
like 800 plus receiving
And I'm
yards.
telling you, he has a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove people that he still has it. And I'm telling you, if you pass on him,
because I loved his ability. What was it when the year after he first got? So last year, I think I was really, or 2 years ago, I was really high on him.
and here's
no, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say too. On top of it, like even if like you can even walk through it this way, like let's say he's really bad. Let's say he can only average 3 yards per carry, right? Bill O'Brien is going to give this guy 250 carries because that's what he gives his lead running backs. 250, whether you're good, bad, or indifferent. So 250, you multiply that by 3, that's 750 yards on the ground. He's going to get in. They're going to be in the red zone a lot. So you add, okay, let's just say 5 touchdowns. That's measly. Like, that's pretty terrible. But I think he'll get 10, but or 8 to 10.
8 to 10, that's fair.
But let's say he gets 5. Okay, that's an additional. If I can do math real quick, 30 points in touchdowns. Okay.
Yep.
I just told you have about 775 fantasy points.
We know he can do it.
Yeah, so
we
like
know he can do it. My only concern with David Johnson, the similarities that I see in him on the downturn, if we're talking about the floor, is what we saw last year from Devontae Freeman, who was a guy playing on a high-powered offense, who's had a coach with a history of being able to get a lot of production out of their running backs. Devontae Freeman was still the guy. I mean, yeah, there was Ito Smith back there. Devontae Freeman was the guy, but he just was running with heavy feet. And if David Johnson's got heavy feet, he's gonna be all right. Just like Devontae Freeman was like a meh RB2, David Johnson be a meh RB2 as well, getting that volume, getting a couple passes, gonna have a few good games, but you're just kind of like, come on, dude. Like, that's the only concern that I have about David Johnson. Just another, Devontae Freeman, another number 1 overall running back who kind of just fell out of his prime a little earlier than we expected, and now he's not on his team. And so, do you see any in the bad way with David Johnson?
I think that's a great comp.
Yeah, could be. I hope not.
Wait,
I love the guy.
Wait, what is? I'm sorry. I was focusing on my back-to-back picks there and being excited about finally being able to mock draft Ronald Jones for the first time.
I want to get the Jones. I do want to get the Jones.
Yeah.
Because, but.
Let me just ask you a point, because this will be the last time I get to ask you about this one, Johnny. Is with David Johnson, the opportunity is going to be there. He's going to be the lead dog in the spot. Bill O'Brien has a history of being able to get productive seasons out of his running backs. I see the floor, for David Johnson being what Devontae Freeman's was last year. And you have a high-powered offense where he's the main guy in all of the positions for the running back, and is like a meh RB2 Devontae Freeman was last year, but just was running with heavy feet.
I would disagree by saying David Johnson was running running straight into a wall 2 years ago under the worst offensive coordinator in McCoy, and guess what? He was still a low end RB1 at the end. He was like RB12 on the year.
Yeah.
So even if he is as bad as people think, which he's not, like I highly encourage you guys just to go back and watch this tape. And they've talked about it. Like, I live in Arizona, and I listen to a lot of sports talk radio, and they would talk about it. They would say he's just not a good fit for this, and he is such a positive person, and he's always been like that guy that people have just been like, you know what, David Johnson's a good guy. I want to cheer for him. I hope he does well, and he feeds off of that. But he started to people started to really focus in on him and be like, oh, he was lacking in this. Why isn't he doing this? And he was putting a lot of pressure on himself. And I'm telling you, the confidence he had by getting Bill O'Brien, having Bill O'Brien trade for him, and the hefty contract
in his corner, for sure.
In his corner.
Hasn't had that in a while.
Yeah, and that's going to give him so much confidence. And I'm telling you, you're going to see a different David Johnson, a more hungry David Johnson. And I will stand by this. If you if he somehow makes it to the second half of this third round and you pass on him, you are going to regret it.
I do not deny the possibility of that, Johnny. I think another guy that folks are looking at who could be a kind of a league winner status is Ronald Jones, who you ended up grabbing, who Strofe wanted to talk about, as did Bassam over in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you again so much for being here. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do. Helps us grow and gives us endorphin rushes, and we could sure as hell use some of those right now at 3:31 in the morning here on the Pacific. But Johnny, you snagged up Ronald Jones there in the 6th. We're talking about a running back who has the confidence of his coach. All we've heard is it's going to be his time. We know that Bruce Arians doesn't really particularly enjoy rookie running backs. Ronald Jones is not a rookie running back. What is your take on Ronald Jones?
I really like him, and it's unfortunate that his ADP has skyrocketed a lot because he was going like in the 8th round a couple of weeks ago because there still was like the Keyshawn Vaughn thought process of maybe they're going to go for it. And it just all the positive stuff that has been coming out about Ronald Jones, and I get it, like some of it is hype, and we can argue about whether adding weight to a running back is good or bad, but I mean, we listed off how it highly benefited 2 running backs last year, and Aaron Jones and Christian McCaffrey, and I'm not sitting here saying that just because they did it means Ronald Jones can do it. I'm just saying that he showed flashes last year. If you take his name away and just say, because he has a bad rep, right? Just take his name away, just watch the tape, and he looks good. He really does. And BA knows how to get these guys in space. That's the other thing. Like, BA knows the whole thing is just pass pro. Like, if you're a running back and you can pass pro, that's where it's important. And I think that was what was lacking. So with him bulking up, I think it'll be easier for him to do that, and he'll continue to learn, and that's what will help. And that offensive line is a lot better too, so that's going to also help with blocking.
I mean, on a simplified level with it, it's like you might have a Bruce Arians. If Bruce Arians and Tom Brady are playing very well, you could have one of the most offensively talented teams right behind Kansas City with Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, Gronkowski, and Ronald Jones over there. That could be some really nasty business, especially with that defense. It's looking really good over there also. Yeah.
What type of role do we think LaShawn McCoy will play in that offense? I get he's old. I get it's a late signing. But you don't think he'll cut into Ronald Jones's production or time or opportunity too much, do you?
I think it's going to be a spell situation unless you see something weird. I'd be surprised. I mean, whoever plays the best football is going to be the guy who's going to end up starting. If LaShawn McCoy comes out and does something crazy great, if Ronald Jones really messes up, fumbles it a couple times in the first game, who knows? But I'm not expecting a lot of threat coming from McCoy. What do you think, Johnny?
See, when it first came out, I was not, right? And then, I take a second look at it. I really dive into, okay, what's going on here? What's the situation? And then shout out to JJ Zacharyson. He actually had tweeted out, first I dove into the research and actually showed, because I thought like LaShawn McCoy was like slow and I just remember him fumbling, to be honest with you, a lot last year. And I know that BA can't stand fumbling. But what I will say is, like, this dude averaged 5 yards per carry last year for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, and, people want to, knock him mainly because he was sitting in the Super Bowl game. They sat him instead of having him, suit up. And to that, I'll just say, like, clearly, like, the coaches know what they're doing. Like, they wanted to use the roster spot in a different space for the Super Bowl, maybe for, like, special teams that's, like, really important. And they didn't feel like that, clearly, because Damian Williams was a monster. So I'm like, give me a break.
Can someone give him a break?
Yeah, so
somebody get
Travis.
Somebody get this guy a Kit Kat.
Yeah, thank you. Where do I want to go here? I need to get a wide receiver, I think.
So what are you thinking right here at this turn, Johnny?
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, there are two guys. I can draft both of them.
A lot of running backs.
Hey, yeah,
got that running back depth for sure.
Hey, so this is great because
I like these dart throw running backs he got back here. Like, Marlon Mack, Tevin Coleman, Jordan Howard, Breda. There's some starting running backs in this mix. Philip Lindsay still.
While you guys fight over running backs, because I love my stack of running backs here, I'm going to go ahead and take Darius Slayton, and then I'm going to turn it back around and take. Oh, actually, yeah. Okay, yeah. I got to make sure. I'm going to take Christian Kirk here.
Okay, I've seen you take these ones.
And I love this wide receiver stack that I have. I think I have depth. I think I have upside. And that's paired with the balance at the running back position right now. Really enjoying this draft.
Johnny, how do you see the target shaken out in Arizona with Kirk, Fitz, Hopkins, of course, and the other players they got now for Kyler Murray?
I really like Christian Kirk in this offense. I really like DeAndre Hopkins. I do think we should temper expectations a little bit on DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if he can be the wide receiver one. I understand how I love this offense.
You don't think Hopkins can be the one?
No. I don't think he can be.
Why?
I just think that this offense spreads the ball around quite a bit, and I think that Hopkins is going to draw attention. Teams are going to double team him. And I do think he's going to have a solid season, but I think he'll be, like I've been on record saying this, I think he'll be number 5. Like, I think he'll be wide receiver 5, maybe wide receiver 4, but I don't think he'll be the wide receiver 1 that a lot of people might tend to think when they first look at this offense. But I think Christian Kirk is going to be a nice piece. I think you need to look at Christian Kirk like you looked at Will Fuller in Houston, and you liked you liked starting Will Fuller. Like, there's going to be weeks where both there are going to be weeks where both Christian Kirk and DeAndre Hopkins are both wide receiver ones because this offense is going to be so potent.
All right.
I like the analysis. You know better than probably both Sear and I do on the Cardinals standpoint. So
he's not going to score a lot of touchdowns. Like, for his first 2 seasons, he's only scored 3 touchdowns. But give me a guy who's going to be in an offense that's going to give him one-on-one matchups. Which, guess what? That is the whole purpose of that offense, is to say, all right, where's the one-on-one matchup? All right, that's where I can take advantage. Because, and you got Hopkins on the other side taking a double team right now. And then guess what? You have Fitz in the slot. And then Andy Isabella, if they want to put him in the other side, who's just so fast. He was like one of the fastest guys in the league. So, I think that this offense is going to be.
And he just barely beat Kyler Murray, though, in that foot race, which is really exciting for Kyler Murray.
He had to turn it on.
He did. There was no playing on that, and it was pretty close to a photo finish.
It's going to be very similar to, Alex Strofe when we're doing our actual draft. He's going to realize, I don't mess around. And then he's going to really have to turn it on.
Joe, were you in the league last year?
I was not.
You're not. So first year in the listener league coming up.
That's correct. So, and I know Hicks talks a big game.
He does.
He's gonna go like 4-10, and
no negative on that, Ghost Rider.
See, that's ceiling maybe 3.
Oh, unbelievable!
Johnny does have some bad luck. I'll give it to him. He comes into the not in tournament with a stacked ass team. Anytime that he does, and he's got some bad luck that's boiled down on this.
Good. I'm glad you're passing on that information. That makes me
like
happy.
It's so funny because I give out good advice, but it's like I don't really.
Well, that's your opinion.
Oh,
it is. I would take it though. I'll take his advice.
I had some really good takes.
I will also take his advice over mine. Yeah.
I will.
He is better at telling other people.
Yeah, than I am taking my own advice.
I remember years past, we'd be in the drafting, actually in this very house, 6 or 7 years ago, and you'd be like, we'd be in the kitchen, and you'd be like, listen, you need to really be thinking a little bit more about, Jordan Howard right now. consider. Like, okay, and then he would go off. And a great,
Well, I did that, dude. I did that with Alvin Kamara and Big Travie. I literally was like, "Oh, Travis, there's a guy on the waiver wire right now." This was this was after our draft. We were heading down the mountain from Big Bear, and we're going to breakfast like we do before we head out. And I, like an idiot, I don't know why, I was like, "Oh, I can't drop any of my guys," and I had like 20 running backs. Anyway, so I'm like, "Dude, there's a guy on the waiver wire that I really think is interesting." And Travis was like, "Who? I need a running back, so tell me." And so I was like, "All right, dude, I'll tell you." And I said Alvin Kamara. And that was the year he like really popped off. And I was like, of course, like I give the information to Travis to pick up and he does it and it goes off. But if I would have picked up Alvin Kamara, who knows, dude? He probably would be out of the league right now. That's about my luck, dude.
Speaking of that one, so you got Matthew P., our boy, in the chat right now talking about what we're talking about right here. Says his whole goal was to lose on purpose so he could play me in the Sacco. Johnny, you want to tell?
So you guys literally name your last place game after the league.
No, ours is called the J-Boned. It's just kind of the ubiquitous term that the last place team we all knows. But ours is the J-Boned, and the story behind that is the first year that we drafted 10 years ago in Flagstaff. One of our league members, Jeremy, whose nickname was J-Bone. His girlfriend was a huge football fan. Jeremy was not as much of a football fan. Rosie was like, "Listen, I'm going to tell you who to draft, and this is who you draft." And Jeremy was like, "All right, fine." And she loved Ricky Williams, and we all love Ricky Williams. And it's actually on the front of our belt and is on our shirts. And
oh, that's fantastic.
Yes, and the reason
he's become iconic.
Yes, he is, and the reason why is because that first year, Rosie told Jeremy, draft Ricky Williams in the first round. At the time, Ricky Williams was the backup running back in Baltimore and got like 15 carries all season. But she was like, draft him. He's the man. This is what you do. And so he did. And Jeremy that year, it was not the only poor decision he made. He tried, but he was not able to secure a single win that year. And he finished the fantasy season 0-13. The only time in our current 9-year run that's ever happened. And it was such an abysmal performance that we named the last place trophy perennially after his nickname. His nickname was J-Bone. We named it the J-Boned, and that's what it's been ever since.
I love it.
Yeah, and so Ricky Williams is our mascot, and we've got him running through the ponderosa pines of Flagstaff, stiff-arming a tree and holding a Buffalo Wild Wings chicken wing in the other hand because that's where our first draft was, in Flagstaff, up in those ponderosa pines. So,
very sentimental. I like it.
We're a sentimental group.
That's what we do.
We're a sentimental group. So while Johnny's making this turd, I do want to just share a little bit about, I thought, one of the coolest moves I've ever seen in fantasy football. We've had some of our league members disagree with this take, but I was so stoked about what Johnny did, why he did it, and how it panned out. And that was last season. At the end of the season, he's not in the tournament. He's got one of these stacked-ass teams that we just mentioned, but he's not in the tournament. Had a bad couple of games at the beginning. You had Melvin Gordon on your team, some other people who started slow. Anyways, he gets into the loser tournament, and him and Matt Poffin have this brutal rivalry. They've been going at each other for years and years and years, like brutal. Like it's rough. And Johnny wanted to stick it to Potvin, and his goal was to not only have Potvin lose and get the J-Bone, he wanted to send him to the J-Bone and make it happen. So Johnny waited in to see that once Potvin in week 15, that first game of the not-in tournament, when it looked like Potvin was losing, Johnny went ahead and just benched his entire roster and just said, I'm losing, and I want to play you in the last place, and if I lose and I have to wear this goddamn J-Bone, so be it, but I want to send your ass to last place. And they played, and Matthew lost, and now Johnny has eternal bragging rights in that space right there.
You know, that's well done, dude. Pick your battles,
dude.
That's impressive.
It was last year was one of the most frustrating fantasy years for me because it was literally one of those times when every single week I would lose because of some crazy, something crazy that happened, and after every week I would lose, I would have my opponent and a member of the league DM me and be like, dude, your team shouldn't have lost today. Like, I don't know how you lost. And then, like, it just kept going. Like, my team would just keep losing, like, on these crazy – it was just rough.
I'll second it for you. It really did happen.
Yeah, so anyway, it got to the point where I was so frustrated and I was very, very mad that I was like, you know what? If I'm going to get this thing, then so be it. Like, I'm just going to get it. Like, you know, it's going to happen. And so why not just be like, all right, I'm going to let's go and put it all on the line.
Make it personal.
Yeah, because here's the other thing, and this is why it's so great to get yourself a league. If you are listening to this right now and you are not in a league with friends that you can, you know, have conversation, you know, or at least Skype, you know, Skype in or Zoom in with your drafts, you need to do so because there is a big thing with bonding. And
really quick, if I could interject with that really quick, and I would say that it is a true opportunity to connect with groups of people that might have been in your life at one period of time and then we're not. I started our hometown league years after I had graduated college, but wanted to start this league just to pull my friends from high school back in there, guys I hadn't talked to for like 6 years. And I just hit them up like, hey, we're doing a fantasy league, hometown style. Any interest? And it filled up so fast, and it just rejuvenated all these relationships with people that I hadn't been in contact with. And I highly encourage Whisper Nation to just you know, send out the text, see what happens, and it could literally be something that ends up bringing so much joy into your life then on a regular basis.
Yeah. So the reason why that I wanted it just irked me so much was because, I mean, it happens. Listen, it does happen. Sometimes you just hit bad luck and you get last place. You always say, "Oh, it'll never happen to me," but like trust me, there are some things happen in a season and it just doesn't go your way. And so Matt had said to me when I got last, he was like, he would always brag about he got the championship. He was a champion, and he was like, I'll never get last. I'll never get last. And so it was just with him telling me that. It was just like this would make this whole season worth it. The entire season of agony and wondering and scratching my head as to why my team isn't winning, and just say, you know what, let's put it on the line. If I can send him the J-Bone jersey, this whole season will be worth it because I knew my team was stacked. My team was stacked, and so I did it, and it panned out. And it made me so happy. I have never won the championship in our league of record, because we have very talented people in there. I've never actually won that championship, but I think this would be very, very close to the feeling of winning a championship. I'm just saying.
Making somebody else lose.
Yeah, your arch rival.
Larry Bird once said, he was asked the question, would you when you win the championship moment and you defeat your biggest rival, you know, the Lakers and Magic Johnson at that time, do you enjoy more winning or do you enjoy more them losing? And without a pause, he said, "Oh, them losing."
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, damn, ruthless.
Yeah. But I appreciate Matt. It was all in good spirits. He was great. And it's just fun. It's just, again, why we play the game is the community. So
Josh Gordon, Matt Potvin says. Josh Gordon, man, that was his league winner. Matt Potvin has.
That I dropped, by the way.
Johnny drops him. Potvin picks him up. Josh Gordon goes absolutely bananas over there in Cleveland. Wins Potvin a championship. You get a jersey of your favorite player on your team in our league if you win, on top of the money and the belt. He gets the Josh Gordon jersey. It's still my favorite jersey of anybody in our league, of any of the ones that they've picked up. It's pretty badass. The Hannon's back-to-back Kamara jerseys is pretty cool too. He went back-to-back and he had Kamara on his team both years. That was pretty badass.
So, Alex, are you in any like deep leagues like this, or and if you are, what are your traditions? I always like asking people this. Like,
so the thing is, every league that I've been in has changed one way or another every year. I'm not in a consistent league like you guys, and I am incredibly jealous.
Well, the Whistler League you're in now.
Yeah.
So this sounds like the start of a great
So you just got to keep winning, and you could stay in, and you'll know what the feeling is like.
Yes. I mean, I've been in leagues with
no pressure or anything.
People for a year, but nothing big tradition-wise. I was in a tattoo league once,
What's
and
that?
It didn't even follow through. last place gets a tattoo.
Oh.
First place takes what it is.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Last place didn't follow through, so that league was quickly absorbed.
Oh wow, yeah, we like to talk about that. I wonder what Whisper Nation in the chats. First off, great to see everybody again. Still 29 people hanging around. This is awesome. And last place punishments are something that we've talked
this is a
lot about, and there's always, you can really,
and they're popular, right?
They are popular and they're fun. And ours kind of took a little shift. We went from like trying to really embarrass the hell out of each other, and then we started turning it into something more, well, how can we make it more constructive on what we're doing? So our current situation is, because we do an in-person draft every year, and we have these traditions that we set in. And on Friday, we do this banquet, if you will, where we all come together and we have this dinner and we do these superlative awards that we give out to everybody. It's like who had the highest scoring quarterback, whatever it is, a whole bunch of different ones. Chelsea's got this amazing button maker. She makes all these badass buttons, and so she made all these little button awards, and we gave them out. And the loser organizes that whole dinner. So like they find the location, they get it set up, they make sure that we have all of the stuff, and kind of facilitates that and takes that labor.
Fantastic.
And then they have to wear the jersey. It's like horrendous pink soccer jersey that we got, and it's actually not that bad. It's kind of fun now. But anyways, you wear that. You got to wear that that day, and then when we draft as well, and get people whatever drinks they want.
Nice. That's fantastic.
Any good ones you other than the tattoo ideas? Is there any last place?
That didn't. Yeah. No. I wish I had a better answer.
Like, it's a good thing, like, you guys just didn't do it for a year. Like, how much would that suck? Like, or two. It would have to at least be two, right? Like, you're like, oh, we're definitely doing this. All right, last place. Dude, you got to get a tattoo. Got to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be brutal. Brutal.
How dumb would that person feel? And luckily, because if I would have taken last place that year, I would have done it. That's the thing. I was that dedicated, and in my defense, I didn't know the person who took last place. I was in a league for a buddy, so I didn't know quite a few people in that league. But even not knowing those people, if I would have taken last place, I would have gotten whatever tattoo.
Oh, because you're a straight up guy. We know this.
Because I would play by the rules we agreed on, but that is not what happened. So I wasn't pleased, right? I wanted that dude to get a fucking tattoo. That's too agreed to. But so one day maybe and I have no tattoos, but I would be in a tattoo league because I'm that confident I won't take last place. And you know what? I'd actually, in fact, be willing to say if I take last place in the Listeners League, I will get a tattoo of Hicks's choice, but it has to be within reason.
Wow, you heard it here. I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that and putting that all over our social media. Hey, just like, shout out to our Phoenix Suns here. Just like the guy who called out DeAndre Ayton, said, oh, if DeAndre Ayton shoots a three, I'll get a tattoo on my face.
Andrew Leesus, is he doing it?
I don't know.
I bet he will.
I hope it. I just like for him. I just hope he doesn't. Like I want him to fall through for it. But it's nice to be like, oh, he didn't do it. Like he's not going to do it. Is he going to do it?
So for Alex, if you hadn't known this one, I think he actually was named like the #1 Suns Twitter account, but he's not an official guy or anything. He's just like this dude who loves two teams. It's in his bio. He loves the Suns and he loves the Packers. And so him and I bonded after that whole Lakers protest trolling thing that I did last year. Yeah. We connected over that, and he's just such a cool ass dude. He's so real with it, but he makes music and he does a lot of creation stuff, and he made this like sick ass Kelly Oubre beat and stuff. And he's a little bit on like he's on the artistic and kind of edgy side with it. So he's like got tats and piercings and things like that as well. So he said a while back that if DeAndre Ayton hit a 3 in the game, he would get a tattoo on his face, something with DeAndre Ayton there. And DeAndre Ayton hit a 3 for the first time in his career in the last 2 weeks. So and ESPN even like shared the tweet, and like because the Sun shared that like we got the receipts, Andrew, and then ESPN like carried it and Bleacher Report carried it, and it's been pretty funny.
Yeah. So
it'll be interesting to see what and if he gets it.
Yeah.
You imagine he'll follow through.
I believe he will. I think he'll get something that makes sense, and it'll probably be pretty clever and cool, and maybe it'll be like DeAndre Ayton, like doing a dunk on his earlobe or something like that. I don't know.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, he's a creative ass dude.
That was a hell of an idea.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was.
It's those late night.
Right off the cuff.
When you've just been grinding on these mock drafts, thinking about it all the way through.
Focused.
Unbelievable.
So Alex,
I can't believe we've already made it.
I know.
Just about.
Well, Alex Richardson here saying, what are some reasonable tattoo ideas?
Oh.
So you got to be like, I'm actually going to steal this right out of Matthew Barry's. I think this was his first book. I read that probably. I mean, it came out, I would say, early 2010s. And he talks about tattoo leagues. So, probably something on a social aspect, right? So this year, probably something with coronavirus.
Oh, nice.
Like in years past, think about phases.
Yeah.
So like Justin Bieber in like 2000, what was that? 2010.
Yeah.
Something Bieber related. Or what if it's a reason you lose, right? What if it is a what if you lose in the what we'll refer to as the Saka for the league's sake? What if that's the game that who am I thinking of? Chase Edmonds. He had that huge game last year.
Yeah, I was at that game, and that was that was a time about like not taking my own advice. That whole week, I'm telling people like, hey, if David Johnson doesn't go, make sure you get Chase Edmonds in because he's gonna kill it. And what ended up happening? Oh well, I'm at the game. My buddy got us great seats. I'm like 10 rows up, and I'm just literally watching Chase Edmonds score touchdown after touchdown while he's on my bench.
That was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So speaking of something that I can't remember anymore, we're coming to the end of this draft right now, and we've got some cookies to give away from the sleeper promotion. These are you can use them in there. And Strofe, Travis, what is Strofe picking? Best team. Pick the best team, please. Which according. And that person's gonna be getting 100 cookies onto sleeper. So Strofe, we got the draft. We're on the last pick.
Oh man.
The last pick right now, Johnny's gonna make, and it is up to Alex Strofe, our guest, who's been coming in these late night hours. Thank you so much, Alex Strofe, coming in from Wisconsin.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Absolutely,
I'll take this
man.
for
it's the highlight of the event for me. And he's gonna let us know who's the winner of this draft outside of Johnny or I, and that person's gonna get 100 cookies from Sleeper.
Yeah.
All right. I'm between like 3 right now. Let me mull it. Give me.
You have a mullet?
They're in right now. They're back. Miley Cyrus has a mullet.
They are. Yeah.
You seen how they're doing it now?
Does she really?
Yeah, she did. She's got the mullet going right now. She looks like her dad.
Oh,
So
she should do
adorable.
the 30 follower. Or,
There they are.
Yeah. No, the mullet time is back. So what are you thinking right now, Strofe? Who's it?
There we go. Okay, I lost you guys there for a moment.
lost
we're
us?
with you. We're with you. We're with you.
But you're back now.
Yeah.
You're back now. We're good now.
oh.
It's 6 a.m. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm between a couple, so we're just going to go with. I really like your boy Matthew P's team. He came through again.
Matty P.
Oh, unreal. I refuse to give that guy anything on my channel.
It is not up to you. It is up to Alex Strofe, who has awarded him that privilege.
I think there was some bias there. Hey, no. This is just Strofe getting back at me because I just spent an hour talking about how I didn't like him, and he's gonna be like, you know what I'm gonna do? Psychologically get into Game Time's head, and I'm gonna give him his opponent's cookies.
Sounds like he's already under your skin for the listeners.
Unreal, dude.
It seems like it's not working at all.
No, dude, unreal. We just invite you on here, and you just
and you invite me into your league just so I beat your ass, and I said
unreal.
I'd get a tattoo. But before I leave, Hicks, when I have a better record with you in the listeners' league, what are you gonna do?
Not get a tattoo.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. What am I supposed to
Maybe
do?
sing us that song for sure.
I stayed up with you until 6
Okay,
a.m.
okay, yeah.
The
Wait,
sun is
what?
out.
Yeah, what
The
song
sun
is that?
out.
What is that? Hold on.
What was the song you're gonna sing then? You weren't gonna sing it now, but you're gonna serenade Strofe then?
No, Jolene. Hey, here's the thing. Yeah,
Jolene.
I will
Dolly
use my
Parton, okay.
I will use my creative. I will make an awesome music video of Jolene, and I'll go out. Like I'm not gonna half-ass it. I will do a full-on Jolene costume and remake the video. All right. If you beat me this year,
Yeah.
As a better record or better play overall finish?
what do you want to do?
Let's go with better overall finish.
Okay.
So who makes it further in the
However,
playoffs?
Well, my tattoo bet is only if I take last place. A
Yeah.
little bit more permanent.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Right. I'm not. Yeah. I wouldn't do that to you.
But your Jolene video will be if I have a better overall finish.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Now,
if,
well, I guess I was just about to say in the weird scenario that we both lose in the semifinals, but then we have a third place game to follow that out, or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I have a better overall finish than you, let's go with that.
All right. Then you have to make if you have a better if I have a better finish than you, then you have to make the Jolene video.
No. He does if he gets last. He does the tattoo. Is that right?
Well, we can rescind the tattoo, but I kind of like that.
So
I don't like the
if
tattoo
you get last,
because that's just if he just gets last. Like
that's a big bet though. And all if
I mean,
he
that
finishes
is
a
a
better
big-
record than you, then you do the Jolene bit. If he comes in last, that means you got a better record than him, and he really took a pitfall, and he has that elevated punishment.
I don't want him to have to get a tattoo. That sucks.
Maybe.
Okay, so you're not.
What
that
if you get him a
mean.
face henna tattoo?
Oh yeah.
and
Okay.
Yeah, you can choose. It.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can-
Down.
you can face
100%
henna
down with
tattoo.
that. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We
Done.
made it happen.
Deal. I'm cutting that out, dude. It's permanent.
So henna tattoo if you get a better record than me.
Yeah.
Okay, deal. We'll do that.
Yeah. All right.
Love it,
I'm
man.
good with that.
And then I will.
It's not gonna happen.
It is going to happen, dude.
We'll see.
I'm putting all my attention to this league that I have no money in. You
Yeah.
know, I'm going all out for it just because it's you, Hicks. Just because
Good.
It's you.
I want you to.
Oh my god, I
All
love
right.
this.
I also need to award my spot in the league, right?
Yeah, you do need to do that. Thank you.
My answer's Rock Lee if he's not already in.
No, he isn't. So Rock
Well,
Lee,
that's my answer.
DM us, and we will get you the link to DM us either on Twitter or on Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at the Fantasy Whispers. There is a link in the description below. DM us, and we'll send you back a link to the Sleeper League, the Listener League. So welcome in.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome in, Rock Lee.
Thank you so much, Strofe.
Alex, man, so great to
Clutch,
see you, dude.
man.
Thank you, brother.
Back at you guys, man. Thank you so much for letting me crash for a couple hours. It's always a blast. You guys are doing some unbelievably great things.
Appreciate you, man.
The growth in even the last year is just unreal. And you guys are some of the not only the best in the biz, but some of the nicest guys in the biz. So appreciate your friendships. Appreciate all you guys do, and you guys keep taking care. Stay safe. Hicks, safe travels back to Arizona.
Appreciate you, brother.
And, get through these next couple hours. All right, guys. I'm with you in spirit.
We appreciate you,
bro.
man. Thank you for getting us through these tough times.
Much love, you guys.
Much
All
love.
right.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of the night.
You too, man. Peace.
See you guys.
Bye.
Next.
Yeah, so we're gonna do another draft here, but I've gotta end this stream to jump over to our last stream of the night. We're on this will be the final stretch here. So
Last stream, not the last hour.
yeah, no, not the last hour, last stream. So just there is one more if you want to go over there on a YouTube. We are going to end this and then be right over there. So stay with us.
Sit tight.